West News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:02. I'm Manda Factor, and here's what's happening. Tacoma firefighters are investigating an explosion at an apartment complex last night. It happened near South 12th and Whitman. No one was hurt, but about 60 units had to clear out and find somewhere else to stay. A University of Washington dining manager has pleaded not guilty to 6 felonies. Police say 56-year-old Grant Lee Huff paid to have sex with 2 teenage girls he groomed online. Seattle police looking for whoever shot a 45-year-old man on Capitol Hill over the weekend. It happened near the Trader Joe's on East Madison Saturday night. And nearly 300,000 people packed downtown yesterday for Seattle's annual Pride Parade in a city already buzzing with World Cup fans. It's 5:03. Time for a check on traffic this early Monday morning. Chris Sullivan is here. Good morning.
Good morning, man. It was very quiet on the way in this morning. I think a few people might be taking advantage of holiday towards the end of the week, and so maybe taking a little extra time. But we're looking at a pretty clean map everywhere. 35 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma. Tacoma is quiet. All of Pierce County is. Federal Way to Seattle's only 35. Valley Freeway, 35 as well. Renton to Bellevue's only about 15 minutes. The Lake Bridges continue to be in good shape. Coming down from the north end, nothing from Arlington through Marysville, down through the Everett area and through Linwood. It's only 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. So we are off to a very good start. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
It's now 5:04. Time for this morning's edition of Start Here. ABC's Brad Milkey on the devastating effects of the earthquakes in Venezuela.
When we learned that a pair of powerful quakes had hit Venezuela, it was immediately obvious there would be deaths. I don't think it was clear, though, that it would be quite like this. Over the weekend, pictures began emerging of just how widespread this damage was. The epicenter was near La Guaira, Venezuela, right along the coastline. Well, in a single-mile stretch in La Guaira, 22 high-rise buildings collapsed. The capital, Caracas, is just 15 miles inland. Many more people there, and all of this translates to bodies. As of Friday morning, we knew of close to 200 fatalities. This morning, the death toll stands at 1,400, and it's still rising. ABC's foreign correspondent Marcus Moore joins us now. Marcus, can you just help us understand how devastating these quakes have been across Venezuela?
Well, Brad, I mean, it's truly a catastrophic event that has unfolded in Venezuela. These 2 back-to-back earthquakes hitting on Wednesday evening, the first one 7.2, and then less than a minute later, the second more powerful quake recorded at a 7.5 magnitude. I mean, these were major earthquakes that, as you just noted, really shook much of Venezuela and left widespread destruction across parts of the country. Several major urban areas have been impacted by this, and we know that potentially some 60,000 buildings have either been damaged or destroyed because of these earthquakes. That's according to satellite data that was collected by researchers at Oregon State University, and it does give you a sense of the enormity of all of this. We have these multi-story buildings, many of them homes, that have pancaked, and all of that material has buried scores of people. And at this point, we don't know exactly how many people may be underneath the rubble. There was a time over the weekend that officials had said that they were looking for at least 200 people. But what's significant about the numbers that you noted already is that UN officials said that there are some 55,000 people who are unaccounted for.
Because the precarious situation in Venezuela, people are rescuing the people basically with their nails.
We still, at this point, so many days later, don't have a full grasp of just how bad this is.
You mentioned the idea of people perhaps stranded. I know the U.S. sent in not just first aid supplies, but like resources for specifically search and rescue. Have those had an effect?
Yeah, they have had an effect already. We've been reporting on how there are 2 U.S. teams that specialize in urban search and rescue. They've brought, obviously, their high-tech equipment. We saw some rescues over the weekend that the U.S. teams had helped with. Of course, the Venezuelans have been leading a lot of this, but with the support of U.S. teams and also teams from other countries. And there was a rescue where they were able to save a man and his son, who had been trapped under the rubble for several days. We also saw images of a woman who was rescued with her infant child. And I think that critical window of opportunity to rescue people alive is quickly closing. But it is important to note that these rescuers, who obviously are in Venezuela, but these rescuers are coming in from all over the world with the sole purpose and the goal of trying to reach people as quickly as they can, wherever they may be.
It's very sad, but at least we can see the reaction of people trying to help, and many countries too.
And so there is hope, and that's really what is driving a lot of what we're seeing there.
Well, and Marcus, for you to mention like an estimate of 60,000 buildings damaged, I mean, then we start talking about homes. So even aside from the casualties, the most immediately dire needs, how big of a humanitarian crisis are we going to be talking about in the coming days?
Yeah, I mean, it's massive. I mean, there was already a humanitarian crisis in Venezuela before these earthquakes hit. Right. I mean, now you have this disaster, and it's only made the situation worse. We got some official numbers over the weekend. More than 12,000 have been displaced from their homes. And so that kind of gives you some sense of how big of an issue this is. And something else we're paying attention to is the impact on the medical infrastructure there in Venezuela. Dozens of hospitals were damaged or impacted by these earthquakes, and the ones that are still open, they're really under strain. A number of these hospitals are operating at capacity, and there's a need for medical supplies. As they're finding people, they have to go to a hospital to be treated. So it really does give you a sense of how complex the response is going to be here, especially on when we talk about the humanitarian crisis.
All right. Marcus Moore reporting on all this. Thank you so much, Marcus.
Thank you, Brad.
The text of the agreement between the U.S. and Iran is theoretically pretty simple. It's 14 paragraphs outlining each country's obligation in this 60-day window. Paragraph 5 says, quote, "The Islamic Republic of Iran will make arrangements using its best efforts for the safe passage of commercial vessels with no charge for 60 days only from the Persian Gulf to the Sea of Oman and vice versa," end quote. In other words, traversing the Strait of Hormuz should be free and safe for all. And yet, last Thursday, a cargo ship was hit by an Iranian drone. On Friday, the U.S. responded by attacking Iranian drone facilities. Well, this weekend, guess what? Iran carried out new strikes. This appears to be escalating. So let's bring in ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang. Selena, the ceasefire is really now being put to the test, right? Can you walk me through what's been happening?
Absolutely. And I mean, remember that ceasefire deal between the U.S. and Iran, that was only signed by President Trump just over a week ago, yet we've seen it tested again and again. These back and forth strikes, they keep on escalating. For a few days, what we were seeing was Iran hitting a tanker in the Strait of Hormuz, which then would lead the U.S. to retaliate with their strikes. But then over the weekend, Iran launched not just drones, but also missiles towards Bahrain and Kuwait, which of course are home to U.S. military bases. The war of words also escalating. Tehran saying that American bases in the region, quote, will be experiencing hell during these days. Now, a U.S. official tells us that Iran launched drones and missiles towards those neighboring countries and that so far there have been no reported U.S. casualties or damage. But clearly, Brad, each side appears to be testing each other's red lines.
So can you call this a ceasefire at this point, Selena, if we keep just firing back and forth at each other? Like, what is the U.S. response to all of this?
Well, we are hearing from some administration officials, the UN ambassador Michael Waltz, who said on Fox News on Sunday that the president's patience isn't going to last forever.
And if the Iranian regime thinks for a second that President Trump is going to stand by, while Iran continues to attack international shipping without a response, or our bases without a response, they're sadly mistaken.
President Trump has also made it clear that he is losing patience with all of this. After the latest U.S. strike, he posted this warning that there may come a point when the U.S. can no longer be reasonable and will be forced to militarily complete the job. So there's not really any signs at this point of how this de-escalates from this continued tit for tat.
Well, and now overnight, a U.S. official told ABC News that the two sides have agreed to stop attacks and allow vessels to move freely through the strait. But those sides also agreed to that before, right? Before these new strikes in the first place. So I just wonder if Iran is going to keep testing the U.S. resolve here, like seeing what, if anything, crosses a line. In the meantime, Selena, how has this latest incident affected traffic through the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, first of all, that memorandum of understanding, Brad, that Trump signed with Iran, in that deal, Iran promises to reopen the strait. But we haven't seen that. Instead, we've seen Iran trying to control it. Iran's foreign minister now claiming Iran alone manages the strait, warning against any interference. We've, of course, also seen these tit-for-tat strikes escalating because of those strikes on ships trying to cross through the strait. The threat level is still substantial, and that's what the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations is saying, which tracks security at sea. So what's clear from all of this is that it's going to be very hard to get traffic back to those pre-war levels, given the ongoing strikes that are happening there, as well as the dispute between the U.S. and Iran about what the MOU actually says about who controls the strait.
Right. And as much as President Trump has said Iran's military is decimated, all it took was basically this one drone back on Thursday hitting this one cargo ship. That has really slowed much of this to a crawl because no one wants to be the next ship. Selena Wang, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's ABC's Brad Milkey. It's 5:13, and our forecast as you head into the holiday-shortened week. Mostly cloudy for today. Some sun breaks, 69 the high. Tomorrow looks just the same, maybe a little bit cooler. Slight chance of some showers on Wednesday, but as we head toward the weekend, we're going to start to warm up. Partly cloudy by Friday, 73. So far, keep your fingers crossed if you want sunshine for the 4th. Saturday's looking mostly sunny and 76. Right now it's cloudy and 56 in Seattle. Coming up, wildfires rage through Utah. We'll get more from ABC's Brad Milkey. Part 2 of the Start Here program here on KIRO Newsradio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
You pledged your life to serve. You made sacrifices, lost loved ones. At VA, we don't see the falls you've taken. We see the 1,000 times you've stood back up. We embrace your uniqueness and won't trivialize your hardships. We can't promise to heal all wounds or wash away all trauma, but we do see a path forward. We see all veterans. We see you. Learn how treatment works and recovery is possible. Visit maketheconnection.net.
Some kids never smile. They're embarrassed by their crooked teeth. They want braces like the other kids, but their families can't afford them. Some may even try to straighten their teeth themselves. That can make everything worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. It helps provide orthodontic treatment to kids and teens whose families can't afford it. For kids who apply, are approved, and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, it can be life-changing. Their treatment is in the hands of an expert, a licensed local orthodontic specialist who improves their smiles by correctly aligning teeth and jaws. Some kids think they'll never smile again, but Donated Orthodontic Services may help them smile with confidence. To link to the application and eligibility requirements, visit aaoinfo.org.
Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, including mine, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. And we've interviewed over 100 of Dr. Wagner's patients, and we hear the same things. It changed my life. I'm back to doing the activities I love without pain. It really works. It's remarkable.
We love helping people get back to living life to the fullest and doing the things they enjoy most.
They also must really enjoy not having the pain and recovery time with surgery.
Stem cell therapy is a 60-minute, non-surgical, minimally invasive procedure to eliminate pain, regenerate cartilage, treat tendon and ligament tears, osteoarthritis, and chronic tendonitis.
And you only use the patient's own stem cells.
That's right, their body's own stem cells.
So whether it's a hip like me, an elbow, shoulder, or knee.
Don't forget ankles, wrists, and thumbs.
Yep, those patients too. Before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD first. Learn more at drmarkwagnermd.com.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the Jed Foundation.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
It's 5:18, time for part 2 of ABC's Start Here program with host Brad Milkey. He's in Utah reporting on massive wildfires there.
As millions of school children got out for summer vacations this month, the weather was looking very summery. In places like Colorado and Utah, it was warm but not humid. It was dry and breezy. And if that sounds pleasant to you, well, it doesn't sound pleasant to firefighters, because combine hot, dry air with wind and drought conditions, you've got all the prerequisites for wildfire. All you need now is a spark. Well, recently, Utah has gotten several. Fires have broken out across the state, and now multiple firefighters are dead. ABC's Melissa Adon is in Silver City, Utah, where she's been tracking all this. Melissa, these fires just seem to keep spreading, right? How many are we talking about at this point?
Hey, Brad. So over the weekend, at one point, there was 12 wildfires that were burning at the same time. Utah has been able to get their hands on some of them, so those numbers are going down. But you're also looking at one wildfire that bled into Colorado, and then that one turned deadly. So it is just wildfire after fire sparking across the West.
Why has it gotten so out of control in such a short time?
So we were talking to fire officials, and she really explained it to me in the best way. Unfortunately, she called it sort of a perfect storm of bad conditions. She was explaining because of the ongoing drought that Utah has experienced, the record low snowpack, it is essentially helping just fuel all of the flames. That setup, and then added with the dry conditions, incredibly low humidity. At one point, we experienced 5% humidity. That's nothing.
The last couple of days, we've had really strong winds, which created a lot of active fire behavior.
And just weather really helped elevate so many of these fires.
And the fatalities you mentioned, those were firefighters, right? What happened there?
It's really unfortunate there. So this is the Snyder fire, and it started burning between Colorado and Utah, and it merged along the border. That was during the weekend when there was a particularly dangerous situation red flag warning that was issued for that region. Well, there were several firefighters that were told that were trapped by the fire. They had no chance to escape. It was really difficult for them. And unfortunately, 3 of them were killed. 2 others were hurt when they were trying to battle that blaze.
It's the ultimate sacrifice, and we never like to hear when that happens. But it just reiterates that our main priority is safety.
And also Governor Cox from Utah sharing that this is heartbreaking news, calling them 3 heroes that made the ultimate sacrifice to protect the lives and communities along the Utah-Colorado border.
As I've seen these fire officials who aren't scared of anything, I've seen real fear for the first time in my time working with them.
And it is tough. We're learning that the topography there is really mountainous. It's hilly. There's points where the wind, if it just blows straight through, these embers can go flying. And then all of a sudden, even firefighters who are skilled and trained can be trapped and just have nowhere to go. Over the weekend, over in Grand Junction, first responders were able to honor them with a procession.
Well, it sounds like, according to local officials, like the risks are not over yet. So I've heard of evacuations. I mean, how bad could this continue to be?
So yeah, Brad, that was like a big concern. Some of these fires have been burning for more than a week. In fact, for the Cherry Fire and the Iron Fire, there were communities that had already evacuated last week, were allowed to come back in, then had since had to re-evacuate and are waiting to then return back home. It is such a challenge for them because of the changing conditions of the weather. Right now, they're finally getting a relief from those red flag warnings. Temperatures are cooling, but it is the summer and dry weather is naturally upon us. And so is that hot weather. So even the fire officials are telling everyone this is something you just have to be prepared for and be ready to evacuate at a moment's notice.
Hard to stomach that 1 second we're living our dream up there on the mountain, and the next second we're living out of the back of our truck with everything we own.
Something that Utah is doing to combat these really harsh conditions that they're experiencing is that Utah's governor is actually banning fireworks for the 4th of July.
The default will be no fireworks, but every mayor with every fire warden in the state can decide where fireworks are okay.
Statewide already, in federal lands, you're not allowed to have fireworks, but there are areas where they were anticipating fireworks shows. So essentially, the governor is allowing certain counties to assign designated areas where fireworks may still be used. But some local governments are saying they're not going to allow any areas, and some are just working with their local fire departments to have fireworks.
Right. The vast majority of these wildfires caused by human activity in one way or another, and yet still, we've always had fireworks. We're seeing so many more acres devoured, and that is what climate scientists say is different from now and 20, 30, 40 years ago. Melissa Don, there in Utah right now. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
The ABC's Brad Milkey. It's 5:23. We're going to start the week mostly cloudy, 69 the high for today. A little bit cooler for tomorrow, 67. Wednesday, we have a slight chance of showers, 66. But then as we round out the week, Friday should be nice, partly cloudy, 73. So far, your 4th this year looks nice, mostly sunny and 76. Right now it's cloudy and 56 in Seattle. And coming up, some big decisions expected in the U.S. Supreme Court this week. We'll get the latest from ABC's Stephen Portnoy and all your top stories next here on Seattle's Morning News.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these 3 books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Kids are full of energy, but keeping them active in their teen years can be a challenge. Aim for an hour of physical activity every day. If they like sports, that's a great place to start. Keep the focus on fun, not winning, and encourage your child to do a variety of activities. If your child isn't meeting that 60-minute goal, gradually increase their activity in ways they enjoy. For more, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Staples Easy Deal Days are here. Score up to 50% off more than 1,000 products in-store and online. It all ends July 4th. Staples. That was easy.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Every day, caregivers change lives. Caregiving offers flexibility and the chance to make a real difference in your community. It's not just caring work, it's hard work. The kind of work that calls for empathy, patience, problem solving, reliability, and both physical and mental strength. It may be the hardest job you'll ever love. Right now, Washington faces a caregiver shortage, and your skills and your heart are needed more than ever. Visit caregivercareerswa.com for resources and support to start or return to your caregiving career.
Sponsored by DSHS and aired by the WSAB in this station.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:30. The former general manager of residential dining at the University of Washington is charged with sexually abusing 2 young girls.
56-year-old Grant Leho arrested on June 16th, charged with 6 felony counts related to sexual abuse and exploitation of minors. The UW Daily confirming he no longer works for the university. The investigation, though, started back in March when a mother contacted Benton County authorities in eastern Washington after discovering sexually explicit images and conversations on her 15-year-old daughter's phone. The Benton County Sheriff's Office identified Ho, who lives in Seattle, and then contacted police here.
That's KIRO 7's Eric Thomas. Tacoma firefighters investigating an explosion at an apartment complex last night near South 12th and Whitman, not far from Hunt Middle School. Chelsea Shepard with Tacoma Fire tells KIRO 7 smoke was coming from an electrical conduit when alarms sounded and a resident pulled the fire alarm to warn neighbors. The blast happened about 20 minutes after crews arrived.
So it sounds like the explosion actually happened inside the wall, but it did blow some particle board and such like out the back door. So it was pretty significant.
No one was hurt, but people in about 60 units had to find somewhere else to stay last night. An update on the Whidbey Island explosion. The final injured firefighter has been released from the hospital, according to KIRO 7. Authorities say evidence suggests a lit cigarette may have set off about 700 pounds of fireworks inside that home. 2 firefighters were quickly cleared, but the third required hand surgery at Harborview. Authorities are now reviewing whether the homeowner could face charges. 2 men headed to federal prison for a scheme that drained millions from ATMs, including here in Washington. It's called jackpotting. The Justice Department says crews crack open an ATM, swap in malware, and force the machine to spit out cash. No bank account needed. The 2 men, both from Venezuela, are in the country illegally. Each got 6.5 years. They're ordered to pay back more than $1.5 million, including for thefts in Seattle and Olympia. The feds say this is just the beginning. They're chasing about 90 more suspects. They believe it's all tied to Tren de Aragua, a violent gang that started in a Venezuelan prison. Just 2 months after opening, Highland Espresso in Ballard has been hit by burglars. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman spoke with the owner, Lauren Ruiz.
Whoever broke in stole some incredibly vital pieces of equipment, from bike parts, food in the fridge.
They stole a very, very expensive coffee grinder, our sales machine.
Even the DVR that contains all of their security footage.
We can't really go find the guy.
She says it's going to cost around $10,000 to replace and fix.
She did say nearby businesses send people over to buy coffee in order to help them out. Rally was the theme of this year's Pride Parade in Seattle. Seattle Pride tells KIRO 7 the theme reflects its role as both a celebration and a protest.
We need to come together. We need to celebrate everything that makes us beautiful and really make that a key point into why Pride is necessary.
An estimated 300,000 people turned out for the parade as it wound its way through downtown and over to Seattle Center. It's 5:33. That's time for a check on traffic on this early Monday morning. What do you see, Sully?
Well, we see a couple of cars out there starting to cause a little bit of slowing right there in the usual places, primarily up the Valley Freeway. For all of our friends coming up from Puyallup, Bonnie Lake, Sumner, places like that, Graham, Enumclaw, they're always Spanaway. They're always trying to get up here early, and so we're seeing some braking around 18, a little bit up the north end. They're tying into Renton, but 40 minutes from Puyallup to Renton's not too bad, and then Renton to Bellevue is only 15. Also seeing a little bit of braking on northbound I-5 going down the South Center Hill, approaching 518. Give yourself about 36 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. That's really all there is out there. Olympia to Tacoma looking really quiet this morning at under 35 minutes. Coming down from the north end, you won't hit the brakes at all. From Burlington through Arlington, Marysville, Everett, Linwood, looking really good. Only 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. The Lake Bridge is also super quiet. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, we're going to start the day with mostly cloudy skies, few sun breaks, pushing 70 for today. Right around 67 tomorrow. Again, we'll stay mostly cloudy with some sun breaks. Wednesday, we do have a slight chance of seeing some rain. Mostly cloudy Thursday, but then we're going to start to clear up and warm up Friday as we head toward the holiday. Saturday, mostly sunny and 76 degrees. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 56.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
It's now 5:35. Seattle has a new tiny home village aimed at helping people get off the streets. Mayor Katie Wilson cut the ribbon Saturday at Brighton Village in South Seattle. It's 14 units for families, couples, and people on their own, opening in July at South Orchard Street and Rainier Avenue South. The village will be run by Nicholsville, a grassroots group of homeless and formerly homeless people who share chores and elect their own leaders. They named themselves after former Mayor Greg Nichols out of spite, saying he swept encampments back when there weren't enough shelter beds to go around. In Tacoma, the biggest homeless shelter there is about to get a lot bigger, but there is a catch. The Tacoma Rescue Mission is adding nearly 100 beds to its men's shelter on South Tacoma Way. That $20 million project will let it sleep 314 people a night, but the executive director tells the News Tribune the building's almost ready. It's paying the staff that's dicey. He says the same crew can't handle double the people. Some of that money was supposed to come from Pierce County, but that funding is tied up right now.
The U.S. Supreme Court is set to reconvene in a matter of hours, with several large cases still awaiting a decision.
This after a handful of opinions was released last week, including 2 that impact immigration in this country.
A blockbuster week ahead. Let's get more details from ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy. Bring us up to speed. What are some of the big decisions we are expecting this week, Stephen?
Well, there are cases, for example, involving transgender athletes and whether states have the power to ban transgender athletes from participating in women and girls sports. There are questions involving late arriving ballots in the state of Mississippi, whether state officials can continue to count them even after Election Day. And ultimately, there are significant questions about presidential power, whether the president can fire members of independent agency boards and commissions with or without cause. Can he fire a member of the Federal Reserve Board, even with cause? The suspicion that, for example, Lisa Cook committed mortgage fraud, something she denies and which has never been tested in court. Is that enough, the mere allegation, to lead to her dismissal under the law? And, of course, perhaps the most highly anticipated case involving presidential power. Does the president have the power with the stroke of a pen to redefine the terms of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment? The idea that people born in this country are American citizens. Or can the president direct the State Department not to issue passports to the children of people who are here illegally? And we'll see what happens. But there are a lot of experts who say, despite the fact that the court issued some significant 6-3 wins for the president in his immigration policy last week, he's likely to lose on the birthright citizenship case.
I was just going to ask if last week's decisions were any clue as to what will happen this week on birthright citizenship.
It's hard to know. But, Manda, I think back to the argument earlier this year when really it focused on, does the president have the power to do this by executive order? The Constitution's 14th Amendment says that all persons born in the United States, subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are citizens. And while the administration is focusing on that question of jurisdiction, one of the arguments that they made was that in the mid-1800s, there was no such thing as birth tourism. The idea that people might travel to the United States for the express purpose of having a child here so that decades later the child with an American passport can bring the whole family over. The administration says it's an actual problem, even though they couldn't identify how often it happens. Chief Justice John Roberts responded to the notion by saying, well, it may be a new world, but it's the same Constitution.
Stephen, we're in the last couple days of June. What's the timeline we're expecting for these decisions to be released?
The court will sit at 10 a.m. Eastern, that's 7 a.m. your time, to issue opinions today, and we'll see what they have in store. We don't know whether the Supreme Court's going to be done with its work today, tomorrow, could extend. There have been occasions where, in busy years, they've gone into the first days of July.
All right, Stephen, we'll be watching. Thanks so much for your time this morning. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
It's 5:39 now. Well, it's happened again in Florida. A person has been attacked by an alligator.
Who was swimming in the Aconlacatchee River in Seminole County was dragged under by an alligator Sunday. She was taken to a hospital where she died of her injuries. A day earlier, a child was bitten at a fish camp in Marion County. And a week ago, a snorkeler was injured in an alligator attack in the Rainbow River near Florida's Gulf Coast.
That's ABC's Jim Ryan reporting.
It's now 5:39. Your political insights coming up with ABC's Brian Clark next here on KIRO News Radio.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in
way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about scouting.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
These are your political insights from ABC News. There are well-documented divisions for the nation preparing to celebrate its 250th birthday, and Republican Senator Todd Young of Indiana says one way to address polarization, elect different leaders.
This is an experiment. It is a fragile experiment, and it only exists if the American people take command of this country.
New York's Democratic Mayor Zoran Mamdani has been viewed as a potential Democratic kingmaker after Democratic Socialists won big in New York's primary. He told ABC that moving forward,
we need to have a platform and a vision that doesn't sound as if it was cooked up by consultants, but instead one that you would say in response to someone who's asking, why can't I afford my rent? Why can't I afford my groceries? Why can't I afford my childcare?
President Trump's endorsement still carries plenty of weight among Republicans. His endorsed candidate, Julia Letlow, prevailed in Louisiana's Republican Senate primary. Brian Clark, ABC News.
We're going to start the week off mostly cloudy. A few sun breaks for the afternoon. 69 the high today, 67 tomorrow. There's a slight chance of seeing some showers on Wednesday, but skip it ahead to the 4th. Saturday, it looks really nice, mostly sunny, and 76. We'll hope that stays. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 56 degrees. And coming up, consumer man Herb Weisbaum has some tips for saving on gas as we enter the busy summer travel season. That's on the way here on Seattle's Morning News.
Please be advised. You may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out, not for everyone. Because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you. All based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at Viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust your gut.
Deep to right field. Going. Goodbye, baseball.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house.
But for a view that's a real home run, check out right field. Make that the dump yard. Sure, it's a great spot to see our fearless outfielders fly, dive, and slide.
Wow! Victor Robles makes the catch!
But you might get to flash some leather too, because the forecast in the dump yard always calls for rain. Raining big dumper home runs, that is.
Number 60, the magical tour of Cal Raleigh just continues.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Don't miss this week's Cal Raleigh Funko Pop giveaway. You have 3 chances to score this one-of-a-kind collectible as the Mariners take on the Angels tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday at T-Mobile Park. The first 10,000 fans at each game will head home with this must-have Funko Pop. Lock in your seats today at mariners.com.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, summer driving season is underway. Gas prices are so high right now. People are looking for ways to squeeze more miles out of every gallon of gas.
Consumer man Herb Weisbaum is here to share 7 things you can do that are proven to work. Herb is a contributing editor at checkbook.org.
Okay, so Herb, there are a lot of myths and some realities as well to this. You have a list here. One of them, your tip is, Sully won't like this. It's to slow down.
Sully won't like that? Well, okay. Obviously, he has an unlimited budget for fuel. Yes,
True.
Slow down. By the way, all these tips that I'm giving you come from Consumer Reports that have actually tested out these things at their test track in Connecticut. They measured the fuel economy at different highway speeds with a Nissan Altima and a Toyota RAV4, and the miles per gallon difference between a 55-mile-an-hour speed and a 75-mile-an-hour speed. It's like going from a compact car to a large SUV, they say. Just slowing down by 10% reduced fuel consumption by as much as 8 miles per gallon in Consumer Reports tests.
Wow.
And by the way, if you're driving at highway speed, if you put it on cruise control, that's a great way to keep yourself at a steady pace. Oh, I jumped my gun. That is the second tip, isn't it?
No jumping your gun. Okay, so drive at a steady...
I'm so nervous. It's just,
Anyway. Okay, so we got the drive at a steady pace. Got that. What about hard braking?
Yeah, and my tip for steady pace is keep it steady because it's called a gas pedal for a reason. And the more you push it down, the more gas you're going to burn. Hard braking, I was confused how this works. They explained it to me. They said you're conserving momentum, not wasting gas by hitting the brakes and then really speeding up really fast as much as possible, because every time you slam on the brakes and are too aggressive, it wastes fuel. Basically, we're talking about jackrabbit starts and stops. And if you do that, it's going to reduce your fuel economy anywhere from 2 to 3 miles a gallon. So just, again, try to drive like a normal person, like maybe Manda and I would drive.
Yeah. All right. Lighten the load, Herb. Lighten the load.
Charlie, lighten your load. That's right. It sounds like an Eagles song. The more weight you're driving around, the more you're going to be burning up fuel to carry that weight around. So if you go to Home Depot and load or Lowe's and load it up with all the bags of mulch, don't drive around for a week with that in the car. Take it out and lighten the load. The more your car weighs, the more you're going to have to move around. Consumer Reports says removing 100 pounds from your car can reduce your fuel consumption, can reduce your fuel economy by about 1%. And if you have a lighter, smaller car, it makes even a bigger effect. So don't carry around more than you have to.
Do accessories really cause drag?
Yeah, they really do. And I ask this because, around here, everybody's got the ski racks on the top or the bike racks or something like that, or those little things on the top that you have on the roof box there. Yeah, it really does. The car was designed aerodynamically to be the most efficient, and anything you do that cuts the lines is going to change that. So the roof box is basically a sail that's working against you, not for you. Bike racks do slow things down as well as ski racks. And also, I wasn't sure, but they said yes, bikes on the back of the vehicle, the bike rack back there also does slow things down. So if you're not doing anything, take it off, or at least take if you don't need it for a while, the seasons change, get it off of there. You're going to increase your fuel mileage just a little bit.
What if I want to give my car a special treat, Herb? Maybe put in some super premium unleaded in my regular unleaded tank.
And that's what a lot of people think. I'm going to do myself a favor. I'm going to put premium in. I'm going to spend a little bit more because it's going to be worth it. Wrong. Consumer Reports and every expert we've talked to at Checkbook says that premium gas is only needed if it says required in your owner's manual or on the gas flap. It says required. If it's recommended, if it's just recommended or not advised at all, go with regular. You're not doing any favors for your car. Consumer Reports found almost no difference when they tested it again between these two vehicles. They had no knocking when they used the regular. 0 to 60 the exact same times. Performance and fuel economy were nearly identical when they used premium and regular gas in those cars. The only thing you should stick with, they say, is top tier fuel. If you see the logo top tier fuel on the pump, that's most major brands. Costco and the warehouse stores also sell top tier fuel. That is meanings that it has more detergents in it. Those detergents will help clean out the engine and improve performance. And it also means they're buying their fuel from a good, reputable supplier. So that's the one thing you can look for, a top-tier fuel.
All right, Herb, can you settle a family bet? I've got someone in my family who has gone with this. I think it's a wives' tale. It's not on your list, but dropping your AC, turning off your electronics, your radio. People are like, I could squeeze an extra MPG if I just turn off the AC or I turn off the blower. Is there anything to that?
Well, I think turning off the AC is going to reduce is going to help a touch, but it's almost insignificant. I mean, it doesn't draw that much fuel. But yeah, if it's a full blast all the time, that may help a little bit. Although I've heard experts say if you're going to open the windows and not use the AC, that's going to completely change the aerodynamics of the vehicle. You'd be better off using the AC. The one thing that people do that I know we checked out, Sully, was they put it in neutral when they go down hills or when they're at a stoplight. Oh, yeah, I'm putting that does. And the other myth is that if you fill up in the morning, you're going to get more fuel and more because it's colder and it's more compact, so it's going to go through the pump. That is absolute nonsense. As you know, fuel is stored way underground in tanks that basically don't change temperature at all. It does not matter when you pump the gas. The big thing is search around for stations. Maybe use the Gas Buddy app or some other app. Prices really do vary greatly. Where I live on the east side, if I go to Safeway, because they're a huge pumper of gasoline right now, they have a huge supply. They're probably 40-30 cents cheaper than any gas station around, but Costco is even cheaper than that. Cheapest gas I found in the area is at Costco, and if I use the Costco credit card, I get 5% cash back. So 60 cents a gallon difference if I go to Costco based on going to one of the major brands where I live, that's a huge savings per fill up. That's one way you can really, really cut back your fuel bill.
All right, Herb, where do we find more?
Go to checkbook.org, and it's up there, or if you want to, it's right on the homepage of my website, consumerman.com.
That's Consumer Man, Herb Weisbaum. As long as we're talking about travel, many of us prepare to hit the road, rails, and skies this holiday.
TSA is expecting to screen about 18.7 million passengers between Tuesday and July 6th, with Thursday, July 2nd, projected to be the busiest day as more than 3 million people take to the air. AAA says a record 72.2 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles from home over the holiday, surpassing last year's record.
That's ABC's Andrew Dimbert. It's 5:53. The weather for the holiday week, well, we're going to be mostly cloudy for today. Look for a few sun breaks, pushing 70 for the high. Overnight lows in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, again, we'll see mostly cloudy skies, but some sun breaks in 67. Wednesday, we do have a slight chance of seeing just some light showers. Nothing too threatening. Wrapping up the week on Friday, partly cloudy, 73. So far, the holiday's looking really nice. We should be mostly sunny on Saturday and 76, and that pattern will continue with us for Sunday as well. Highs in the mid-70s. Right now in Seattle, we have mostly cloudy skies. It's 56 degrees. Here with Seattle's morning news for Monday. It's the 29th of June. And coming up in the next hour, we'll get more of the day's top stories from ABC News. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey reports on accusations against a University of Washington employee surrounding illegal sex work. Plus at 6:15, Sully has a bonus Monday choke point today. He's fired up. He's going to step on his soapbox about e-bikes. Prepare yourself. That's on the way. Our inbox is always open for your news, tips, and story ideas at mynorthwest.com. You can always contact the show. We'd love to hear from you. Just text the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. That's 888-973-5476. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt, and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
What if the retirement plan you think you have isn't enough? Marshall and Ellen thought they were prepared.
We certainly thought we had all documents. We'd done the wills and the power of attorney and all that stuff.
Then they attended a seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayich at Life Point Law.
The bigger parts of how that all plays out was definitely helpful.
Life Point Law showed them what they were missing.
There were things we never thought of that made total sense once they were brought up. To have things planned so that your family isn't left with a mess or having to deal with things that they don't know anything about.
So what's their advice?
People wait too long. Get started, figure out what you want to do. Don't wait too long. Make those decisions and look at all your options.
Register for a free Life Point Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way on July 7th, Bremerton July 9th, Everett July 11th, or Bellevue July 18th. Space is limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. lifepointlaw.com.
This is Ricky Rubio, point guard for the Phoenix Suns.
And I'm Holly Robinson Peete, actor and along with Ricky, ambassador for Delivering Jobs. We know that a job is empowering and instills confidence. Yet 81% of adults with developmental differences don't have a paid job, even though companies that employ people with differences report better morale and higher productivity.
There are 6.5 million people in the U.S. with an intellectual or developmental difference such as autism.
And now, thanks to Autism Speaks, Best Buddies, the Holly Rod Foundation, and Special Olympics, there has never been more opportunity to improve hiring practices and build a more inclusive workforce. Join me, Ricky Rubio, and these amazing organizations in supporting and creating pathways to 1 million employment and leadership opportunities for this talented community.
Visit deliveringjobs.org to learn more.
That's deliveringjobs.org.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Wildfires in the west have killed 3 firefighters along the Utah-Colorado border. ABC's Melissa Adon.
This is the Snyder fire, and it started burning between Colorado and Utah, and it merged along the border. That was during the weekend when there was a particularly dangerous situation red flag warning that was issued for that region. Well, there were several firefighters that were told that were trapped by the fire. They had no chance to escape. It was really difficult for them. And unfortunately, 3 of them were killed.
Flooding in Kentucky and Tennessee is now blamed for at least 5 deaths. Search teams still looking for survivors in Venezuela after last week's deadly earthquakes. They have been working through hundreds of aftershocks. Former Tennessee Titans star running back Chris Johnson tells ABC News he has been diagnosed with ALS. He was diagnosed last year. The disease spreading so rapidly, he now has lost the ability to speak. This is ABC News. According to new numbers from the Health and Human Services Department, about 3 million fewer people are on the Affordable Care Act plans this year than last year. Part of the reason could be the end of federal subsidies to help those who can't get insurance through their jobs pay their premiums. President Trump got rid of those subsidies as a part of his bill. Democrats tried to get them back but failed. A Texas boy attacked by a shark in the Bahamas credits his older brother for keeping him alive. Here's ABC's Wayne Cabot with the story.
I definitely consider him as my hero as he stopped bleeding and saved my life.
12-year-old Parker Roll says his brother Jack wrapped his leg for the 60-mile boat ride to the nearest hospital after the shark attack. The family was on an excursion to swim with the sharks and thought that they were among normally docile nurse sharks, but then an 8 to 10-foot-long reef shark latched on to Parker's leg.
I didn't really feel it at first because there's just so much adrenaline.
Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
The boy is expected to be fine. This is ABC News.
And at 6:02, here's what's happening.
A University of Washington employee accused of paying teenage girls for sex has pleaded not guilty. We'll get the details from Luke Ducey.
Investigators in Tacoma trying to figure out what caused an explosion at an apartment complex last night. Fire crews say smoke was pouring from an electrical conduit before the blast. Dozens of families now displaced.
Seattle has a new tiny home village for people trying to get off the streets. Mayor Katie Wilson cut the ribbon over the weekend on Brighton Village in South Seattle. 14 units will open next month.
Time to check traffic every 10 minutes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And we're starting the week, Charlie, in really good shape. We just have a little bit of braking on southbound I-5 through the express lanes right as they tie back into I-5. But other than that, we're looking pretty decent at this point. Only 35 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma. Tacoma is quiet. Not even much action up the hill to 18. And then Federal Way to Seattle's 35 minutes as well. Valley Freeway's under 40. There's a little braking between Auburn and Kent, but just kind of the hesitation stuff where you drop under the speed limit for a little bit. Even the North End drive isn't terrible. Renton, the S-curves are nice, actually. 15 minutes to make the drive to Bellevue. Lake Bridges are quiet. Coming down from the North End, only 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. So we're off to a very good start. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good Monday morning. The former general manager of residential dining at the University of Washington is now charged with sexually abusing 2 young girls.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is live with the latest.
Yeah, police arrested 56-year-old Grant Lee Ho just 2 weeks ago. He's charged now with 6 felony counts related to sexual abuse and exploitation of minors. Court documents say the suspect paid a 15-year-old and 13-year-old through apps on their phones. Investigators say he also gave them shoes and clothing, alcohol, marijuana, and vaping products. The mother of the 15-year-old victim in Benton County in eastern Washington contacted investigators back in March after she claimed she found sexually explicit images and conversations on her daughter's phone. The sheriff's office then contacted Seattle police. That's where the suspect lives, according to police. Prosecutors say Ho is also charged with attacking a 13-year-old girl in Pierce County. Police say Ho used encrypted and auto-deleting messages to avoid detection. He also is accused of buying one victim a cell phone so her parents would not find out that he was recording sexual encounters in hotel rooms, according to the Seattle Times. Ho pleaded not guilty. He is being held right now on $750,000 bond.
Luke Ducey reporting live. It's 6:04.
U.S. Marshals rescued an endangered child from a homeless camp in Olympia last week, and they believe she may have been a victim of sex trafficking. The girl was reported missing in May after disappearing from Mesa, Arizona. Thursday, they found her at a homeless encampment known as the Jungle in East Olympia. One camp resident spoke with KIRO 7 TV.
Nothing surprises me anymore. It has progressively gotten worse every summer.
Neighbors of the encampment say they'll continue to call police when they see signs of illegal activity.
Despite neighbor objections, Seattle has a new tiny home village. Mayor Katie Wilson cut the ribbon Saturday on Brighton Village in South Seattle. It's 14 units for families, couples, people on their own. It opens in July. It's at South Orchard Street and Rainier Avenue South. The village will be run by Nicholsville. That's the grassroots group of homeless and formerly homeless people who share chores, elect their own leaders. They named themselves after former Mayor Greg Nichols, out of spite, saying he swept encampments back when there weren't enough shelter beds to go around.
And Tacoma's biggest homeless shelter is about to get a lot bigger, but there's a catch. The Tacoma Rescue Mission is adding nearly 100 beds to its men's shelter on South Tacoma Way. The $20 million project will let it sleep 314 people a night. But the executive director tells the News Tribune the building's almost ready, but they need the money to hire more staff. He says the same crew can't handle double the people. They're working on plans to get more funding. Pierce County is extending its current contract with the shelter for the next 9 months.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, here we are, Monday, June 29th. 4th of July weekend is ahead.
Here we go.
Yeah, a lot of people taking the week off, or at least a few days this week.
Yep. Did you have a nice weekend?
I did. My wife and I went out to the Hood Canal area. We brought our little trailer. We were right on the water. It was beautiful. What about you?
It was lovely. Thank you. Got some rest. Slept more than 8 hours a night. Wonderful.
Love it. David Burbank, of course, always well rested. You were out at a Rainier's game, right?
I was, yeah. On Saturday, we went to the Rainier's game,
missed the
which
brawl.
was fun.
The brawl was
we
Friday,
did, yes.
right?
Thankfully, no. Instead, we had a 3-home run game from old Patrick Wisdom,
nice.
Who had been on the Mariners for a little bit, now down in Tacoma again. So, yeah, that was really fun. The weather held up, which was good. We thought maybe it was going to rain. But,
and you got a cool hat.
I got a cool hat. I have to always get an old corduroy hat. So, yeah, I got it. And, yeah, it was great. It was my first Rainier's game ever. And it was
you're
awesome.
kidding?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so
no
fun.
fooling.
And the music was amazing. Yeah, as you would expect.
Way to go, Nick.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you guys come out to the ballpark.
That's such a great ballpark.
Were you there Friday for the big brawl?
Oh, I'm there every home game.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And it was like with 9 in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs, they loaded the bases up, and then Wisdom got hit for the second time in the game, and that's what inspired his 3-homer game the next day. And it was a pretty big brawl too. It lasted about 10-15 minutes before they ended the game after that.
Yeah, I had a lot of people sending me video of
I
that
saw
on
lots of
social
pictures.
media. Well, this hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
Coming up this hour, Sully, you are fired up. You have a special Monday choke point / commentary.
Yeah, I'm venturing into uncharted territories for me. I'm taking over for Charlie. I mean, he has a...
Because you don't usually share your opinions.
No, generally, but I'm about to go off, and parents, I'm going to go off on you.
Yep.
So be prepared. You're not going to like what you need to hear, but you need to hear this.
Oh.
And we're talking e-bikes to give you a little taste.
Okay, so that's coming up around 6:15 with Sully. Also, this hour, we're going to have ABC reporter Karen Travers, an update on the negotiations between the United States and Iran.
It's now 6:08. Crews are fighting a fast-moving wildfire near Winthrop in Okanagan County. The Hamilton fire broke out yesterday morning just west of town. Strong winds pushed the flames east. That forced an immediate evacuation of downtown Winthrop. The alert was blunt. Evacuate now, head toward Twisp, and don't wait for a knock on your door. The State Transportation Department says the fire also shut down Highway 20 in both directions, but it reopened by early afternoon. That fire grew to about 100 acres. The Red Cross opened an evacuation center at the Methow Valley Community Center.
An update on the Whidbey Island explosion we first told you about last week. The final injured firefighter has been released from the hospital. KIRO 7 says authorities say evidence suggests a lit cigarette may have set off about 700 pounds of fireworks in the home. 2 firefighters were quickly cleared, but the third needed hand surgery at Harborview. Authorities now reviewing whether the homeowner could face charges.
Tacoma firefighters investigating an explosion at an apartment complex last night. It happened near South 12th and Whitman, not far from Hunt Middle School. Chelsea Shepard with Tacoma Fire tells KIRO 7 smoke was coming from an electrical conduit when alarms sounded, and a resident pulled the fire alarm to warn neighbors. That blast happened about 20 minutes after crews arrived.
So it sounds like the explosion actually happened inside the wall, but it did blow some particle board and such out the back door. So it was pretty significant.
No one was hurt, but people in about 60 units had to find somewhere else to stay last night.
Seattle police say a man was shot in the Capitol Hill neighborhood Saturday night.
This happened just before 9 o'clock near the Trader Joe's between Madison and Olive Streets. Police say the 45-year-old man was shot in the stomach, took himself to Kaiser Permanente's Capitol Hill building before being transferred to Harborview Medical Center. At this point, though, it's unclear what led up to this incident and no word of anyone in custody.
That's KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
And police are investigating a violent attack. More than 90 shots fired at a South Seattle community center, causing widespread damage and injuring a teenager. This happened just before 9 o'clock Friday night. Officers near the Van Asselt Community Center on South Myrtle Street heard dozens of shots fired. When they arrived, they found a 15-year-old boy who'd been standing near the entrance. He'd been shot in the shoulder and cheek. Investigators believe someone fired more than 90 rounds. The gunfire damaged the community center, shattered glass, and also hit several cars parked nearby. No arrests have been made.
Well, massive earthquakes have devastated Venezuela, and there is a way to help here at home. The Seattle Times reports a group of Venezuelan Americans asking people to drop off donations at more than a dozen local restaurants. They're looking for non-perishable food, medical supplies, diapers, hygiene products, tents, dried food, pet food, for fruit, rather, and pet food. For a list of restaurants, go to donations.embracevenezuela.com. They're also hoping to make a first shipment through a Florida-based relief organization by early next week.
Seattle's Pride Parade made its way through downtown to Seattle Center yesterday. KIRO 7 reports this year's theme was Rally.
In a time, especially now, we need to rally together.
Organizers say this year's theme reflects the resilience required during a challenging moment for LGBTQ+ communities.
We now know which teams will face off in the 5th World Cup match Wednesday. Belgium and Senegal go head-to-head in the round of 32 match. It'll be the first time Belgium and Senegal have played in the World Cup.
And I believe Team USA plays on Wednesday as well, too. Yes, they do. They play Bosnia.
Okay. Yeah,
I knew that. I wasn't questioning.
You've got the breaking news right here, Amanda.
It's going to be another fun week of soccer.
Now, how will the weather hold up? For that, we check in with KIRO 7 pinpoint meteorologist Nick Allard. And, of course, all eyes are on next weekend, Nick.
It's kind of a personal question, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and I got to say, the weekend looks great. At this point, what you'll probably see is mostly cloudy skies in the morning. You know, cloudy conditions, morning clouds, and then sunshine for the afternoon. I have the 4th right now at about 76. And Sunday's pretty similar to that, about 75,
76. Did you really call it 76 for...
On our 250th birthday?
Oh,
76.
My goodness gracious.
Wow.
Didn't even think of that. Yeah. I don't even. I was
so
focused
good.
on my falling apart shoes. I was missing a piece, and I was trying to rip it off. That's as far as I got in terms of our celebration. I was worried about my Hokas, but I can tell you it does look nice. Now today it's cloudy. I think you might see a few late day sun breaks. You might even have a few spots with some sprinkles or drizzle to start the day, but you're not going to see much sun today, much sun tomorrow, much sun Wednesday, much sun Thursday. Very much what you would typically see before July the 5th kind of stuff, where you're in the upper 60s and low 70s each day. But then by Friday, low 70s, Saturday, mid 70s, Sunday, mid 70s, and it looks all right.
Well, that sounds great. Right now in Seattle, clouds and 55.
It's 6:13. Time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes for you. Let's go to Chris Sullivan.
And we're still enjoying a very good drive on this Monday morning. Just some little hints of red here and there. The biggest one is really through the ramp meters on northbound 167 on the transition to northbound 405 in Renton. A little backup onto to 167 itself, but overall under 40 minutes. Puyallup to Renton, that's pretty good. There are some breaks down the hill, South Hill, a little bit getting into Puyallup, but nothing that you can't handle. And then Renton to Bellevue is not too bad, under 20 minutes, probably closer to 15. We do have some braking on eastbound 520 approaching Montlake. That just appears to be volume at this early hour. I haven't seen any issues there. Also seeing a pretty clean drive on I-90. Looking at Federal Way to Seattle, we've got ourselves about a 35 to 38 minute trip coming down from the north end. Nice and easy, 35 minutes on the drive from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Olympia to Tacoma is nice and easy as well, 35 minutes, and nothing on 16 or 18 to start the day. This traffic report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app and stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor. Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
6:15 now. Well, I hope you're ready. Sully is fired up this morning, and he's pulling no punches.
Oh, no. In the crosshairs, powerful electric bikes and the roving gangs of teens and preteens terrorizing our streets. Sully?
Yeah. Charlie.
Yes.
How do you get on a soapbox? I mean, yours is a little tall. What do I have to do?
Yeah, you got to sit up straight.
Sit up straight?
Okay. Just tap your inner Dave Ross.
Okay. Oh, well, that's the case. I would have to dial back because enough is enough. Parents, it's time for you to be responsible. It's time for you to take away that e-motorcycle pretending to be a bicycle and hold your kids accountable for their bad behavior. And law enforcement, it's time to lower the boom and end this now. I think we've put up with this for long enough. We've seen this bad behavior go on for years now as we've started to see the proliferation of e-bikes. Started with one or two kids doing wheelies in parking lots or going too fast on our neighborhood streets. Yeah, we could deal with that. But now it's full street takeovers and complete disregard for safety, the law, and common sense. This must end now, and it only happens if parents grow a backbone. I still can't believe what I witnessed last week. I was driving on one of the busiest highways in Snohomish County, 132nd Street Southeast, a road that connects I-5 to SR9. 5-6 lanes, multiple traffic signals, turning, intersections, the whole deal. It's one of the bigger roads in the county. It was in the middle of the afternoon when a group of nearly 20 young boys, teens or under, completely took over the westbound lanes riding their illegal e-motorcycles. And yes, they are illegal. I'll get to that in a minute. They were passing cars illegally, running red lights, and the group was running from the cops. 2 Snohomish County deputies in pursuit, lights and sirens trying to get them to stop. The group just blew them off and kept going. This is what Snohomish County Sheriff's Office told me in a statement. Quote, "The deputy activated his emergency lights, pulled across the intersection in an attempt to stop the group. The riders all looked at the deputy and refused to stop and accelerated away westbound on 132nd. The deputy activated his siren, pulled behind the group again to signal them to stop. The riders looked back and several of them pulled out their phones to record and did wheelies while disregarding the deputy's signal to stop. The bikes all appeared to have no registration plates. The deputy did not initiate a pursuit, but instead deactivated his lights and sirens. The group ran a red light at 19th to go northbound, then proceeded to ride in a reckless manner, passing illegally, running stoplights at multiple intersections. Then the group split apart." I get it. You called off the pursuit for safety. Nobody wants to see these kids get plowed into by the semis that use 132nd and SR 527 there. But come on, somebody has to crack down on this, and that's why I'm looking directly at you. Parents, you're the one that's got to make the difference here because you're the ones who likely bought these illegal bikes for your kids. They run up to $1,000 or more, and the law has changed. As of June, no one under 16 years old can ride a Class 3 e-bike. Those are electric bikes, really motorcycles, that have no pedals. Under the new rules, e-bikes can have no more than 750 watts of power and go 20 miles an hour without pedaling. Anything else is a motorcycle, and riders need a motorcycle license to ride them and training. It's time for parents to educate themselves on this new law and make the tough choices. Take these illegal bikes away. I'd rather have an angry kid than a dead one. And parents, you might want to remind your kids that it's not cute to disregard and run from the cops, take over streets, and run red lights. I know it's super cool on TikTok and YouTube, where everybody lives, but that's only going to end badly. Maybe not today, but someday. Parents, get your blank together and fix this, because what I saw last week was unacceptable, incredibly dangerous, and these kids are going to get killed, and you have a way to stop. Sorry.
You brought this up on Wednesday.
I did.
Thursday, I went to have lunch with my parents in Mill Creek. Coming down 164th, right by the country club there, on the way
just
back
south
to
of
I-5.
Yep.
Back to I-5. I turned the corner. 20 of these kids were taking up both lanes of traffic going eastbound, popping wheelies, zigzagging in and out of traffic. I was terrified, and I was afraid I was going to witness one of them dying.
Yes, me too. It's
so
exactly what
I
felt.
I couldn't believe I saw it the next day after you brought it up.
Yeah.
And Charlie, you've been dealing with this down in the South End. I mean, we all are. We all see it in different varieties in our neighborhoods.
This is happening in every neighborhood. And just a little background. So my son Sam was riding one of these. He loved it. We kept an eye on him using a tracker software, so we knew he wasn't the one, going out and doing the crazy stuff. But last week we made a decision as a family. It's over. If we want to go out to riding trails or somewhere dirt bikes are allowed, we'll do that. But as of last week, Sam's no longer riding one of these. I know a lot of his friends aren't either. And one of the things that really made it stick was police are finally enforcing this, right? So in Auburn, one of Sam's friends just got a $600 or $300 ticket. I don't know the specifics of the ticket, but once word got out about that, boom, all the kids not doing it. So it does take some enforcement and something to be costly. God forbid there's an injury, because that's a whole nother level, because we've all seen the kids not wearing helmets on these. Of course.
They had no helmets at all.
And the thing that's going on right now is not only the law changed a little bit in defining the e-bikes and making things clear, but over this next year, up into and going into the next legislative session, there is a work group going forward to try to tell law enforcement what to do. Because right now, Snohomish County, they're not sure what you two do. I mean, do we do a pursuit on these? I mean, no, they're breaking them, but that only makes them do crazier things. We're talking about preteen and teen boys, not exactly the sharpest, knives in the box. I get that. I was one. It took me till I was about 50 to mature. Holly would say I'm still working.
Yeah,
but they make dumb decisions. They make rash movements. And so the police aren't really sure what to do, because now it's taken that next level, in the neighborhood, going loud, being, whatever in the neighborhood, but street takeovers.
Yeah.
Okay. This is now out of the neighborhood and onto very, very busy streets. They're sharing with articulated buses, semis, delivery trucks, the whole deal. And someone's going to get killed. That's all I care about. I want this to end before someone gets killed, and it's going to happen.
This is not a grumpy old woman get off my lawn thing. It is dangerous, and it terrified me.
Yeah,
it really
terrified me too. And the whole, everybody was like, "What is going on here?"
Yeah.
So please, parents, you got to. You may not know the specs. You may not know the law. Look at what the bike says and educate yourself. I've got all the specs up at mynorthwest.com, so you can find out exactly what it is your kid has. Just know, if it doesn't have pedals, it's not an e-bike. It's a motorcycle.
I'm just curious how Sam responded.
Well, Sam, actually, he's very practical. My wife overheard him talking to a friend, because I've been saying for a while now, a crackdown is going to begin. You will not be able to sell that dirt bike for as much as you could get for it now.
Yeah.
And he goes to his friend, I wish I had listened to my dad, because now I can't sell it for
and
what
again, he bought it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so he saved
money.
up and bought a lot of the, because they're super spendy.
Yeah, just so you're aware that there's a Chinese importer that brings these in. That's how they avoid a lot of these safety regulations. You get it shipped directly or drop shipped directly from China to get one of these dirt bikes.
Yeah. Well. Again,
okay.
Yeah, please.
Talk
I
to your
want
kids,
your kids
please.
to be safe. That's all I care about. I want your kids to be safe.
And with the summer approaching, the nice weather out, kids are out late, so you got to be on guard. Okay, so you have more on that on My Northwest?
Of course, yep.
All right, well, I need you to get off your soapbox for now. I was about to say your shine box.
But I could do that too. I'm not sure you're wearing Brooks or New Balance. I think I would screw those up if I got out there with a little shine, wouldn't I?
You might. Don't want to do it, Sully.
No, I don't.
You do want to do traffic,
I do, and we're looking really good coming down out of the north end. We're looking at about 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Not much action yet away from Linwood at this point. Northbound 167, seeing the brake lights getting into and through the 18 interchange, but manageable. A little over 40 minutes, though, to make that trip from Puyallup to Renton, and then Renton to Bellevue is just under 20. Seeing some action up now past SR 900 before things ease off. 40 minutes, Federal Way to Seattle, which is really good. The lake bridges are fine. Everybody's still trying to get to the University of Washington early this morning for some reason. We're seeing eastbound 520 being being a little slow. They're coming down the Portage Bay area, working to that new off-ramp there at Montlake. And then Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you guys, 35 minutes. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio App. Listen to your favorite shows. Get the latest news and updates sent right to your phone.
We're headed for a high of 69 today in Seattle. Clouds, maybe some sun breaks. 67 the high. Right now, 4th of July weekend, looking partly sunny and dry. Seattle, it's 55 and cloudy.
And coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports on Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson's first local political endorsement as the state continues to shift further to the left. Also, your opening bell report coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
We're here for Closets by Design. You ever have one of those mornings you are completely behind because nothing is where you think it should be? Your home is full of clutter. You have a pantry you can't use. You're walking over stuff in your closet. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. Closets by Design is not just closets. They help you organize your garage, your pantry, laundry rooms. We had them fix up our spare bedroom and home office. Completely functional. We have a wall bed set up. It is night and day the difference Closets by Design has made. You can speak to them as well. Get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 0% financing, 18 months on approved credit if paid in full. Here's what you need to do. Go to their website, closetsbydesign.com, or call them 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN, and get your custom project started today.
Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO News Radio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Spring is a perfect time to make improvements that protect and add value to your home. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. For decades, homeowners across the Pacific Northwest have trusted our team for roofing, siding, windows, and custom decking. This spring, save up to $3,000, or qualified homeowners can take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free estimate.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026. From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Do you ever lose your balance or feel dizzy for no apparent reason? Do you hear ringing in your ears or have migraines? These are all signs you could have a problem with your inner ear or vestibular system. To learn more, call the Vestibular Disorders Helpline at 800-837-8428. That's 800-837-8428. Sponsored by the Vestibular Disorders Association.
Download the KIRO News Radio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO News Radio app.
Progressive provides protection for your boat and other outdoor vehicles so you can explore new things.
Oh, I can finally try pesto.
We meant like water skiing.
I've just never had pesto.
Or maybe take the boat somewhere new.
I mean, is pesto spicy or sweet? Oh, guess we'll find out, right?
Right. Bundle home or auto insurance with your boat, RV, or motorcycle and stay protected with Progressive while you explore.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready for pesto.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-572-3344. That's 800-572-3344.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. The nicotine in e-cigarettes is addictive and can harm brain development. That's why I worry about teens who try e-cigarettes. Many young people use pod-based e-cigarettes like Juul, which have high levels of nicotine. And because teens' brains are still developing, they can quickly become addicted. The tobacco industry uses fruit and candy flavors to attract young people, often turning them into lifelong users. For more, visit healthychildren.org.
Check out the Puyallup Tribe's Firecracker Alley's new location at 3509 72nd Street East in Tacoma. Stock up now for your 4th and enjoy great food at Firecracker Alley. 3509 72nd Street East in Tacoma. Open now through July 4th.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:30. A political shakeup for Democrats that represent Seattle.
Instead of endorsing two longtime Democratic state legislators who represent the city, Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson says she's endorsing their opponents.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is here to explain.
Yeah, the first, State Senator Jamie Peterson drafted one of the state's most progressive taxes to date, the income tax on millionaires. Wilson applauded the tax and Peterson at the time. However, on Saturday, the Washington State Standard is reporting she requested a meeting with Peterson to tell him she will be endorsing his opponent, Hannah Sabio Howell, during his re-election campaign for the 43rd District. Here's what Sabio Howell said about Jamie Peterson on the G and Ursula show back in May.
We have been represented by a 20-year career politician, a moderate Democrat that I think is out of step with our district's values and what we could accomplish if we had more aligned leadership in that seat.
Wilson also told longtime state representative Jerry Pollitt she will be endorsing his opponent, Ron Davis, for the 46th District, which includes much of North Seattle and Aurora Avenue. Pollitt told the Standard he was astonished by getting a phone call from the mayor because he supported Wilson ever since she took office. Here's Davis, the opponent, in one of his political ads.
I'm running to freeze the rent in public housing, build over 1 million homes, double the buses on the road, and make sure childcare is affordable for every family, and protect our community from Donald Trump.
So the common denominator among these more progressive candidates is calling for more taxes on corporations and the rich in order to reduce costs for the non-wealthy.
We are paying so much more at the end of the day, at the end of the year, to live here than the super wealthy individuals and corporations that have built their wealth here and have gotten richer and richer.
I mean, that's their stance. I think we know the stance of the incumbents as well, as we've been hearing about that with the millionaires tax and the passage of that in the last year. Peterson is also arguably one of the most powerful senators in Olympia right now after passing the millionaires tax, but not progressive enough for Democratic leadership in Seattle, at least. A powerful voice coming out of Seattle. And maybe this is kind of a shift in the Democratic Party here in our state.
Mayor Wilson, of course, a Democratic socialist. The two people she's endorsing also Democratic socialists. So something to be keeping an eye on, Luke.
Yep, absolutely.
Luke Ducey reporting live at 6:32.
The former general manager of residential dining at the University of Washington is charged with sexually abusing 2 young girls. He's been identified as 56-year-old Grant Lee Ho.
The UW Daily confirming he no longer works for the university. The investigation, though, started back in March when a mother contacted Benton County authorities in eastern Washington after discovering sexually explicit images and conversations on her 15-year-old daughter's phone. The Benton County Sheriff's Office identified Ho, who lives in Seattle, and then contacted police here.
That's KIRO 7's Eric Thomas.
Despite this explosion, no one was hurt last night at a Tacoma apartment complex. Happened just after 5:30 near South 12th and Whitman, not far from Hunt Middle School. These neighbors described the damage to KIRO 7 TV.
The windows were blown out into the yard, the doors, the patio is
crumbling from the bottom. It was really bad.
It was not good.
8 buildings had to be evacuated. Fire department says an electrical malfunction with a transformer pushed smoke into multiple buildings. A resident then pulled a fire alarm to alert neighbors. 20 minutes after firefighters got there, that's when the explosion happened. The cause of the blast is under investigation.
It's 6:33. That's time for a check on traffic. Take it away, Sully.
And we're enjoying a pretty good drive still, though. There's some building volume here and there. 405 is probably the heaviest right now as you work your way through those S-curves right there in Renton. You're going to need a little over 20 minutes to go from Renton on up into Bellevue. We're looking at Puyallup to Renton overall at about 40 minutes for you guys. We have about a 40-minute trip now from Federal Way to Seattle. Olympia to Tacoma is only 35 minutes. 16 and 18 continue to be in good shape. Lake bridges are still quiet coming down from the north end. We are seeing some brake lights on westbound too across the trestle, but that's just kind of normal stuff. And then a little bit of braking right around the county line for both 5 and 405. Give yourself about 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. That ought to pad enough time in to get where you need to go. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube, click subscribe, and get fresh video content daily.
The forecast looking like we'll be cloudy today, maybe some sun breaks. Highs in the mid to upper 60s today and tomorrow. Maybe have some showers on Thursday and Friday. But for the holiday weekend, 4th of July looks to be partly sunny. 76 the forecast high on Saturday. Right now in Seattle, it's 55.
From ABC News, Wall Street Now. The end of federal subsidies in January meant that 3 million more Americans couldn't afford health insurance in February. The Trump administration says the drop in Obamacare enrollments came as a result of its crackdown on fraud. The parent to Neiman Marcus, Saks Fifth Avenue, and Bergdorf Goodman is getting a new name, a smaller footprint, and a lighter debt load. Saks Global has emerged from bankruptcy as exemplar luxury group with only about 50 store locations. Toy Story 5 ruled the box office again with a $70 million take in its second weekend on the screen. Supergirl had a disappointing start to its theatrical run, bringing in $38 million in domestic ticket sales. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
After a weekend of attacks from both Iran and the United States, a U.S. official now confirms both sides have agreed to stop any more strikes and resume peace negotiations. Also putting the ceasefire in jeopardy, Israel has launched new attacks this morning on what it calls 3 Hezbollah command centers in southern Lebanon. Here's ABC's Karen Hua.
All this uncertainty from the Middle East has pushed oil prices higher overnight. But here at home, drivers have seen gas prices come down steadily. Prices have dropped an average of 60 cents per gallon in the last month. The national average is now $3.79, although that is still 85 cents higher than before the war with Iran started.
A lot of people getting ready to hit the road, rails, and skies this week. TSA says it expects to screen about 18.7 million passengers between Tuesday and July 6th, with Thursday, July 2nd, projected to be the busiest day. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
While nearly 5.9 million people are expected to fly, the strongest year-over-year growth is actually coming from other modes of transportation, like cruises, trains, and buses, but driving remains the top choice, with about 85% or so of holiday travelers expected to take a road trip as fuel prices start to cool a bit. Still, the national average for a gallon of gas is up over 61 cents from a year ago. Meanwhile, traffic is expected to start to build in the later part of the week. Thursday could be the worst of it.
Seattle's priciest home just got another massive price cut. The 12,000 square foot waterfront mansion in the Denny Blaine neighborhood hit the market again last week for $45 million. Now, that's a 40% drop from the $75 million it wanted last summer. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, this historic estate is tied to developer Bruce Bloom, has 5 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, a dozen fireplaces, a pool, and 160 feet of Lake Washington shoreline in Denny Blaine. What a view. And it's part of a bigger trend. Washington's ultra-luxury homes are slashing prices to lure buyers back.
I don't think it's right next to the park.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure there are some memorable views.
Probably. About 3 million fewer Americans are on affordable health care insurance plans this year as compared to last.
Democrats shut the government down trying to get Republicans to approve a continuation of federal subsidies for Obamacare recipients, but it didn't work. Now the Health and Human Services Department is showing a 13% reduction in those on ACA plans in 2026 versus 2025. The decrease believed because millions of people, many of them gig workers who aren't offered insurance through an employer, are either unwilling or unable to pay the much higher premiums. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
From ABC News Tech Trends. Anthropic now says Mythos has been approved once again by the U.S. government for some select businesses to use. The AI model was taken down by Anthropic after the Trump administration said foreign nationals, including Anthropic's own employees, couldn't access it. The model had raised concerns it could be used to break cybersecurity systems were it to fall into the wrong hands. China can once again say it has the world's fastest supercomputer according to the latest top 500 ranking. Lineshine comes from the National Supercomputing Center in Shenzhen and takes over that top spot from El Capitan at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. And Australia's government now says it's doubling the fine for violating its landmark social media law. Now, if any social media companies are found to be knowingly allowing kids under 16 to access their platforms, the company could be on the hook for the equivalent of $68 million. With Tech Trends, I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Well, the U.S. and Iran have agreed to halt hostilities and start talking again tomorrow. That has the markets higher this morning. Dow up 238 at 52,114. S&P 500 up 53, and the Nasdaq is up 307 points.
A word here for KIRO 7 TV as the world watches Seattle. KIRO 7 News will take you beyond the matches, live team coverage inside the best fan experiences, unique local stories, and the lasting impact of the games for our community. Connect to the Cup, watch live in every newscast only on KIRO 7 TV.
While we're talking about soccer, Friday's draw between Iran and Egypt was as dramatic off the field as it was on the field. KIRO Newsradio's Jillian Raftery explains.
In many ways, it was a match that was much more about words and politics than the score. Seattle had designated it the Pride match long before the actual teams were selected to play, and both teams objected. But by match day, other political issues had overshadowed the beautiful game.
By wearing a shirt that says "No Iran War," it's in the colors of the Iranian flag, and the number 168 in the colors of the flag as well. And 168 stands for the elementary girls who were killed in the Minab strike in Iran.
Hundreds of fans, like State Representative Daria Farivar, sent messages through their jerseys. Others had slogans like "No executions in Iran." At the stadium, protests grew minute by minute leading up to kickoff. Homaira Bakhtiari organized a huge group that lined the entrance, calling for regime change and the installation of Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi.
They should be banned from the World Cup, but unfortunately they didn't ban this team who is coming from the Islamic regime.
There were some clashes with other Iran fans who didn't agree, and a near fight when someone leaped on a trash can waving the Islamic Republic flag. By kickoff, evidence of the Pride match was drowned out by other protests. And street preachers, pastors handing out pamphlets and Bibles, and Jehovah's Witnesses standing by. But some fans were just fans that day, like Joseph, Miriam, and their 18-month-old daughter.
Such an experience for her to cheer for her country. Yeah, miles and miles and miles and miles away.
But there's a lot happening here.
We don't care. We're here to have fun and enjoy and cheer for the game, so we don't pay attention to any tensions anywhere. So everyone can enjoy whatever.
And after the game, all the noise, all those messages faded into the background in favor of unity through music and a good old-fashioned Seattle dog. Reporting in Seattle, Jillian Raftery for KIRO Newsradio.
So glad everything was peaceful. Everyone had a good time.
Heard from people who went to the game. They said they had a blast.
Yeah.
Well, a year ago, he says he was playing with his kids and working out as normal. But today, former NFL running back Chris Johnson tells ABC News he has ALS. His condition has progressed aggressively. But ABC's Michael Strahan, who spoke to Johnson and his wife Brittany, says he's not giving up.
He was diagnosed relatively early. He's doing everything he can, but still can't even hold a cup. That's why early detection, more research, and better treatments are so important. But he said if you're newly diagnosed, don't lose hope. Research is moving faster than ever.
Doctors say Johnson, who was diagnosed at age 39, may have what's called sporadic ALS, which affects people with no family history. Johnson is on a regimen of experimental treatments and says ALS research is progressing. Johnson set records as a running back for the Tennessee Titans and retired in 2017.
It's 6:43. Sully? It's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes.
And we do have a little bit of action now on northbound I-5 towards the north end of Boeing Field, through all the weaving and merging there through Albro and the Michigan Curve. So give yourself about 40 minutes now, maybe a little over from Federal Way to Seattle, as we also have some breaking up past 272nd. We might have a little issue there because that one just popped up on my map. Overall, about a 40-minute trip as well from Puyallup to Renton on 167, the heaviest brake lights there, in and out of Auburn. So no real surprises. The Renton S-curves are active. We're a little over 20 minutes to make it up into Bellevue at this point. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems. There is also some slowing down the South Hill on eastbound 512, but again, nothing you can't handle. Lake bridges are quiet. Coming down from the north end, a little bit of slowing westbound on the trestle, trying to get over to I-5, and then it's right around the county line. We have some brake lights right there at the Edmonds exit at the Nile Golf Course on I-5, and from 405 it's south of Canyon Park. And need about 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Looks like we'll have clouds today, high in the upper 60s today and tomorrow. Might have a couple showers in the Seattle area for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We dry out and get partly sunny for the 4th of July weekend, highs in the mid-70s. Seattle right now, it's 55.
And coming up, ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers has the latest on the conflict in Iran. That's on the way on Seattle's Morning News.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM. Powered by MyNorthwest.com.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.primera.com.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
There are 5 things money can do for you: growth, liquidity, cash flow, protection, and tax advantages. Don't miss an opportunity because your current retirement plan only focuses on 2 or 3 of them. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
It was a roller coaster weekend in the conflict between the U.S. and Iran. The two countries have reportedly agreed to stand down, this after an exchange of strikes all across the region. Let's go to the White House with ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers. Karen, can you break it down? What led to these strikes?
Yeah, the Iranians were, of course, targeting commercial ships going through the Strait of Hormuz, and the U.S. Retaliated by targeting drone and missile storage facilities. That happened then again on Saturday. The latest this morning is the president, just a few moments ago, posted on social media that He says, quote, Iran has requested a meeting. He says it will take place tomorrow in Doha, Qatar. Now, we had been told yesterday by a senior administration official that technical talks between the two countries were still on track, that the two sides were still talking, nothing had been canceled, and the talks were still planned for the coming days. So it's not clear if the president is talking about something new and there is an additional meeting that has been scheduled, or if this is just reiterating what had already been planned between the two sides in the coming days. But notably, despite the tense weekend and the strikes back and forth and the threats by the president, we were told that both sides were still exchanging messages through channels that were established through that memo of understanding signed 2 weeks ago. There was also another headline last night when a U.S. official told us that the U.S. and Iran agreed to stop the strikes, but Iran notably has not publicly confirmed agreement to that. So stay tuned. We'll see if that happens this week.
How does this all revolve around Israeli strikes on Lebanon? I know that is one thing that Iran is quite opposed to.
Yeah, that's been a firm, hard red line for the Iranians, that the ceasefire in Lebanon has to hold. The Israelis have to stop the strikes. I mean, they have also said they have to pull out all of their military out of areas in Lebanon. And the Israelis have said that they would stay as long as necessary. So that has been a major sticking point in this and a big question mark as to where things go forward, given that other, essentially other component of the war happening in Lebanon.
From where you are at the White House, Karen, you're there just about every day. What is your sense of how the president, how much he wants to end this conflict?
Very much so. I mean, I think the fact that you saw that threat over the weekend from the president about, being forced to militarily complete the job. But he said, well, this could come to a point where we're no longer able to be reasonable. We've seen threats like that from the president before. We have seen him not go through with threats like that before. He has said he could go back to major military operations. He could target infrastructure, civilian infrastructure in Iran. Hasn't done that, I think, because he doesn't want to get to that point. But it's certainly a threat he has dangled out there to try to coax the Iranians to a certain negotiating point. But the Iranians have also showed this ability to continue these strikes, despite the president saying that their military has been decimated and that they have no missile capability anymore. They certainly indicated this weekend that they still do.
Seems like a holiday week this week. For a lot of people it is. What is your sense in terms of when the president will maybe give some more details, especially about these talks in Doha?
Hopefully soon. We've asked the White House for clarity on what the president was referring to, and they have not filled in the pieces yet.
ABC White House correspondent Karen Travers. Karen, thank you. Have a good week.
You too. Thank you.
It's 6:51. The man accused of gunning down a healthcare CEO on a New York City sidewalk is set to appear in federal court today. Luigi Mangione has a hearing in Manhattan. News Nation's Marcus Espinoza says we may learn about the jury in the trial.
We're expected to hopefully find out a couple things that are going to take place around 11:30 today when that pretrial hearing starts. So perhaps some jury selection information there, and then also nailing down any sort of scheduling as well. So U.S. attorneys, in fact, they sent a letter to the judge saying they're ready to go to answer any questions that they might need or that the judge might have for them, including proposed juror questions, and they're ready to discuss scheduling as well.
Mangione's attorneys had previously said they were worried about potential bias in jury selection because of the intense media coverage of that case.
Starting Wednesday, millions of older Americans will have access to obesity drugs through Medicare for just a $50 copay per month. News Nation's Xavier Walton says the program is temporary.
The program is called Medicare GLP-1 Bridge, and temporary meaning it's going to be through the end of 2027. Starting July 1st, a new Medicare pilot program is going to expand access to medications, giving eligible seniors a chance to get the drugs for as little as $50 a month. The goal to hopefully, help treat obesity before it leads to more serious health problems like heart disease, stroke, or diabetes.
Qualifying seniors would have to meet eligibility requirements.
The price of Comcast shares skyrocketed in pre-market trading this morning on word of the company's plan to spin off a large part of its portfolio.
NBC Universal will keep its name after Comcast announced that it's separating its media and technology businesses into two publicly traded companies. The spinoff includes the Universal theme parks and NBC News. Comcast CEO Brian L. Roberts says the move will unlock what he calls a more entrepreneurial management approach.
That's ABC's Jim Ryan.
Princess of Wales has scaled the 3 highest peaks in the UK all in one day. This is ABC's Wayne Cabot.
Kate Middleton climbed these 3 high peaks in 24 hours, 10,000 vertical feet total, raising money for holistic cancer treatment.
Lots of people have asked me why I'm doing this challenge, and partly it's personal. I'm so grateful to be here, to be strong enough to walk these hills. But more importantly, it's to give something back.
The princess says she knows personally how difficult the challenge is for those living with cancer and for those who have survived it. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
It's 6:53 and time for a check on traffic once again. Every 10 minutes we do that for you. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And approaching our first peak of the morning, and we're in really good shape. It is quiet out there. I mean, there are brake lights in the usual suspect locations, but you get in and out of them, not too bad. One of those spots is northbound 167 right there at Highway 18. A little heavy there through the weaving and merging. Kind of extends up to halfway to Kent. And then at the north end, but overall we're under 45 minutes from Puyallup to Renton, probably closer to 42 or 43. And then the Renton S-curves are active, but by the time you're up to 30th, you're out of it. It's only 25 minutes from Renton to Bellevue, and all of that slowing is just right there as you work your way past the Boeing plant and then on up the hill. Federal Way to Seattle, about 42 minutes as well. Just a little hesitation getting up to the Kent Des Moines Road, a little bit past the West Seattle Bridge. Behind that, the Olympia to Tacoma Drive is nice and quiet. Coming down from the north end, there's a little bit of slowing across the trestle. We get that right before 7 o'clock as people are trying to make their way over to I-5. And then a little hesitation past the Nile Golf Course on I-5. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's hidden in the bushes to your right-hand side as you pass the Edmonds exit. Wonderful par 3 overlooking I-5 there. If you're just elevated, you need about a 9-iron. Coming down from 405, it's not too bad through Canyon Park. You've got about a 40-minute trip as well to get you Everett down into Bellevue. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
They still have the sign for the Nile Golf Course. It has a fez on it.
Yeah, that's okay. Right there on the main drag going to Edmonds. Yeah.
Okay.
Fun little course.
Nice day to go play some golf. 69 our forecast high with some partly cloudy skies. Right now in Seattle, 55 and cloudy.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more on the UW employee charged with sexual abuse of 2 teenage girls.
And at 7:15, some big opinions expected from the Supreme Court today. We'll get more from ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO News Radio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-572-3344. That's 800-572-3344.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Always exhausted, loud snoring, keeping your partner awake? You could have sleep apnea and not even know it. South Seattle Smiles has a comfortable solution with no CPAP required. Most medical insurance accepted. Call 206-241-5533 today. SouthSeattleSmiles.com.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we know the key to a long-lasting roof is yearly maintenance. Need an inspection, repair, restoration, moss removal, or just a cleanup? You can trust Guardian's licensed, insured, and expertly trained team. We offer free estimates, second opinions, and financing, giving you the peace of mind your home deserves. Call today. Our first-time customers can save $99 on our award-winning roof repair and cleaning service. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Lenny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at Cars4Kids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A former NFL star, Chris Johnson, telling ABC News he was diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, last year, and that it's progressing very quickly.
Just over a year ago, I was picking up my 7-year-old daughter, so she make a wish with her birthday cake. Today, I couldn't do that.
In fact, the 40-year-old cannot speak anymore. That was a speech generation device using recordings of his voice. President Trump says Iran has requested a meeting for tomorrow, but Iranian negotiators say nothing has been scheduled. At least 5 people have died in flash flooding in Kentucky and Tennessee, and 3 firefighters died when they were caught in a fast-moving wildfire along the Utah-Colorado border. Hundreds of aftershocks have been shaking Venezuela since last week's deadly earthquake. Teams have been searching through an estimated 58,000 buildings that were either damaged or destroyed. So far, the death toll over 1,400 people. This is ABC News. Shooting at a youth welfare facility in northern Germany today. 5 people were killed and 2 were arrested. Germany's gun laws are more restrictive than the U.S., but mass shootings are not unheard of. The Princess of Wales has scaled the 3 highest peaks in the UK all in one day. Here's ABC's Wayne Cabot.
Kate Middleton climbed these 3 high peaks in 24 hours, 10,000 vertical feet total, raising money for holistic cancer treatment.
Lots of people have asked me why I'm doing this challenge, and partly it's personal. I'm so grateful to be here, to be strong enough to walk these hills. But more importantly, it's to give something back.
The princess says she knows personally how difficult the challenge is for those living with cancer and for those who have survived it. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
Comcast is creating a separate company to hold NBC Universal, NBC News, Universal Pictures, and Peacock. The Sky, the British producer or broadcaster, it bought in 2018. It's splitting off from Comcast's regular service. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 7:02 Monday morning, here's what's happening. A University of Washington dining manager has pleaded not guilty to 6 felonies. Luke Ducey will join us with details coming up.
Seattle police looking for whoever shot a 45-year-old man on Capitol Hill over the weekend. It happened Saturday night near the Trader Joe's on East Madison.
2 Venezuelan men headed to federal prison for draining millions from ATMs across the state. each got 6.5 years in a scheme the Justice Department calls jackpotting.
Just about 7:03, and that's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. Chris Sullivan, what's happening?
Well, not a lot, man. It's a great day out there to be out on the roads for a Monday. I think we're going to have a pretty quiet week, so let's try to keep it going and stay out of each other's way. The heaviest brake lights and really the most severe anywhere is on 405 northbound. Those S-curves, even on a quiet day, are going to pack in just because of the amount of volume going on and off the freeway there. But by the time you're up to about 30th, it really starts to ease off. We're under 30 minutes from Renton to Bellevue, probably closer to 25, which is actually pretty decent. The Valley Freeway behind that is under 40. Just some braking out of Auburn, a little bit at the north end, but a really calm day there. Same thing from Olympia to Seattle. I mean, Olympia to Tacoma, no problems there. Just a little brake lights up the hill to 18, and Federal Way to Seattle's under 40 minutes. Heaviest part of that drive past the West Seattle Bridge. The Lake Bridges are fine. Coming down from the north end, getting to I-5 is not bad, and then I-5 and 405 away from Linwood are in really good shape. 40 minutes or less from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's Morning News.
Good morning, it's 7:03. The former general manager of residential dining at the University of Washington is now charged with sexually abusing 2 young girls.
We'll get more live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
A 56-year-old Grant Lee Huff was arrested by police just 2 weeks ago. He's charged with 6 felony counts related to sexual abuse and exploitation of minors. Court documents say the suspect paid a 15-year-old and 13-year-old through apps on their phones. Investigators say he also gave them shoes and clothing, alcohol, marijuana, and vaping products. The mother of the 15-year-old victim in Benton County in eastern Washington contacted investigators back in March after she claims she found sexually explicit images and conversations on her daughter's phone. The sheriff's office there then contacted Seattle police. That's where the suspect lives. Prosecutors say Huff is charged with attacking a 13-year-old girl in Pierce County as well. Police say he used encrypted and auto-deleting messages to avoid detection. He's also accused of buying one victim a cell phone so her parents wouldn't find out that he was recording sexual encounters in hotel rooms, according to the Seattle Times. Huff has pleaded not guilty. He's being held on $750,000 bail. He's also no longer employed by UW.
Luke Ducey reporting live. It's 7:05.
Breaking news just in. The U.S. Supreme Court is out with its first ruling of the morning. The court holds that federal Election Day statutes do not preempt a Mississippi law that allows mail-in ballots to be counted as long as they are postmarked by and received within 5 days of Election Day.
A wildfire forced people in Winthrop to drop everything and run yesterday. The Hamilton fire started that morning west of town in Okanogan County. Then the wind took over. Flames pushed toward downtown, so the county told everyone, get out fast. Highway 20 shut down both ways for a while before reopening. The fire spread to about 100 acres. People who fled could ride it out at a Red Cross center in Twisp.
An explosion forced the evacuation of 8 apartment buildings in Tacoma. This happened just after 5:30 last night near South 12th and Whitman, not far from Hunt Middle School. Neighbors described the damage to KIRO 7 TV.
We live across the green belt from the apartment that was mostly blown up. There's glass and everything.
The Tacoma Fire Department says an electrical transformer malfunctioned, pushing smoke into multiple buildings before the blast. No one was hurt, and no word yet what started it.
The last firefighter hurt in a home explosion on Whidbey Island last week is now out of the hospital.
Investigators say there is evidence that the homeowner was smoking a cigarette when 700 pounds of fireworks in that house exploded on Wednesday. And 2 of the 3 hurt firefighters fighting that blast were cleared just hours after the incident, but a third needed hand surgery at Harborview Medical Center. The firefighters union saying they look forward to everyone's continued recovery and eventual return to the job. The Island County Sheriff's Office said it's reviewing regulations on storing the fireworks to determine if it's going to charge the homeowner.
That's KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, good morning, Manda.
Well, good morning, Charlie.
Monday. This is Do we just call this Independence Day week?
It kind of feels like a holiday week already.
It really has that vibe. Everything kind of slowing down like the holidays over the winter, but no, we're in the summer.
Yes, indeed.
Getting ready for big 4th of July festivities all around. We'll be talking about that all week. That is Manda Factor. I'm Charlie Harger. Sully is here. That was quite a soapbox you had last hour.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
Felt good. Because I'm here to save kids. And if I have to make a few parents angry, then I'm going to do it. E-bikes. They're the devil!
Okay. Maybe not quite that.
Point taken.
Yeah.
Channeling Mrs. Bobby Boucher's mother there.
Just like foosball. And, of course, we have producer David Burbank in the studio with us as he tries to keep this show on track.
I can never try too hard with this show.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, coming up this hour, we're going to be checking in with ABC's Stephen Portnoy. The Supreme Court is issuing decisions as of this hour.
What's coming up in the 735 commentary, Charlie?
Well, when everything's behind plexiglass, is there any point to even going into the store? Our state's retail theft problem truly is getting out of control.
It's 7:08. Seattle is seeing massive World Cup crowds. According to KIRO 7, new numbers show more than 120,000 people packed the stadium district for the opener June 15th. About 150,000 showed up for USA against Australia June 19th, the biggest turnout in Pioneer Square since tracking started in 2019. And about 100,000 people turned up for Friday night's Pride match between Egypt and Israel.
Speaking of Pride, rally was the theme of this year's Pride Parade in Seattle. Seattle Pride tells KIRO 7 the theme reflects its role as both a celebration and a protest.
We need to come together. We need to celebrate everything that makes us beautiful and really make that a key point into why Pride is necessary.
Thousands and thousands turned out for the parade as it wound its way through downtown and over to the Seattle Center.
The mother of a young boy who died in what may have been a tragic case of child abuse in Aberdeen is now speaking out, saying the system failed her son. We get more from KIRO 7's Jack Bilyeu.
Amanda Lynn Servion spent the last 2 years in prison. When she got out, she couldn't find her son, Aiden. He was supposed to be with his father, Jacob Bevins, but he claimed the boy was staying with an aunt in Idaho.
Roberta, his aunt, said that she had never met Aiden.
Officers questioned Bevins again and got a shocking admission.
Jake told him that he had hit his head and he buried him in the yard.
Bevins also had custody of their older child, who Servion says never went to school and was emaciated when she got her back.
Somewhere somebody should have noticed.
Servion, her loved ones, and supporters rallied in Olympia, pushing for answers as to why her children fell through the cracks and what can be done to keep it from happening again.
Bevins is now charged with homicide by abuse, assault of a child, failure to notify a coroner of human remains, and making false statements.
U.S. Marshals have rescued a girl they believe was a victim of sex trafficking from a homeless encampment near Olympia. After getting a tip, they found a girl whose family is in Mesa, Arizona. They reported her missing back in May. She was located in a camp known as the Jungle in East Olympia. One resident told KIRO 7 News he saw at least 5 agents searching the camp.
There was like 5 U.S. Marshals here. One of them gave me a business card, showed me a picture, mentioned her name.
The neighbors of the encampment say they'll continue to call police if they see signs of illegal activity.
A new tiny home village is opening in South Seattle to help people try and climb out of homelessness. Mayor Katie Wilson celebrated the opening of Brighton Village on Saturday. The 14-unit tiny home community opens in July at South Orchard Street and Rainier Avenue South. Residents will share chores, commit to healthy living, and vote on who leads them. It's run by a group called Nicholsville, a name meant to needle former Mayor Greg Nichols, who they say ordered encampment sweeps when shelter space fell short.
Big expansion of Tacoma's largest homeless shelter is running into a money problem. The Tacoma Rescue Mission is growing its men's shelter to fit 314 people a night. But the executive director tells the News Tribune the hard part isn't the $20 million expansion, it's staffing it. He says you can't ask the same amount of workers to handle twice as many people. As mission leaders work out a budget and fundraising, Pierce County is funding the shelter under its old staffing levels. That contract will cover the next 9 months.
Washington State had little official presence at the Great American State Fair on the National Mall over the weekend, part of the nation's 250th birthday celebration. Washington Republican Congressman Michael Baumgartner tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM that he visited the site.
Officially, the state government of Washington, our left-wing Democrats, sent nothing to the booth, so it was just a backdrop that America 250 had been put up, and then just a couple of empty chairs.
State leaders have cited cost estimates ranging from $100,000 to $1 million as the reason for not taking part. Several other Democratic-led states also chose not to send exhibits.
At 7:12, it's time to get a look at the weather forecast. And for that, we check in with KIRO's 7 Pinpoint meteorologist, Nick Allard. Nick, a lot of people are listening to you because they're making holiday weekend plans.
I thought you were going to say good life choices, which makes sense, too.
That, too.
Yep. Well, I think the weekend looks great. I mean, to get there, it's a remarkably similar week where you're just going to find clouds each day and a few, afternoon sun breaks, but that's the best I got for you. I don't think it's going to change a whole lot today through Thursday. Some late day sun breaks, the occasional sprinkle here and there, and highs in the upper 60s and lower 70s today. If I were to say the best place to find sun today, it'd probably be around the islands north. Tomorrow, it'd be like in the South Sound in the afternoon, and that's the same thing Wednesday, Thursday, so I don't think you'll see much sunshine for the World Cup, but still nice in the 60s. But by Friday, low 70s with some morning clouds and afternoon sun. And Saturday and Sunday, the 4th and 5th, I have mid 70s at least, with plenty of sunshine in the afternoon. So it really does look up quite a bit and looks great and nice this weekend.
Yeah, I like how you said it's 76 for Saturday. That'd be a nice symbolic 250th anniversary reference. So
you're just showing off your internet history culture and your knowledge. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I research it. Apparently there is this deal on July 4th. So
you have one of those calendars you just rip off a thing every day, don't you?
I looked ahead. You're right.
Yeah, you cheated.
55 and cloudy right now in Seattle.
7:13. Time for a check on traffic every 10 minutes on the threes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And I need to know, I need approval, I guess, for everybody in the studio. The 360 on our text line asked me on slow days like this if I could just refer to traffic on golf courses and maybe speeds of greens or things like that. Is that something you
only if you can find us a sponsor?
Okay, I'll see what I can do. Hey, Callaway, TaylorMade, Putts Golf, golf discount. All the people that I watched incessantly yesterday as Scotty Scheffler tried to win the Travelers, which he lost this morning in a playoff. Looking this morning, we're doing really well. We've got a rented to Bellevue drive of about 25 minutes, nice and easy there through the S-curves by most day standards, and by the time you're up to 30th, it's gone. Looking really good into Bellevue. Behind that, the Valley Freeway, about 40 minutes from end to end. Federal Way to Seattle's not too bad. We have some breaking past the West Seattle Bridge now, so we're pushing over 40 minutes now, not quite 45, but we're getting there on our major route there. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems coming down from the north end. Definitely seeing a little bit more action south of Canyon Park on 405 as you work your way down to 522. Give yourself a little over 40 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, right about 40 from Everett to Seattle. The slowing that we had past the Nile Golf Course there appears to have dissipated. This report brought to you by me, KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
The U.S. Supreme Court is set to reconvene in a matter of hours, with several large cases still awaiting a decision.
This after a handful of opinions was released last week, including two that impact immigration in this country.
A blockbuster week ahead. Let's get more details from ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy. Bring us up to speed. What are some of the big decisions we are expecting this week, Stephen?
Well, there are cases, for example, involving transgender athletes and whether states have the power to ban transgender athletes from participating in women and girls sports. And ultimately, there are significant questions about presidential power, whether the president can fire members of independent agency boards and commissions with or without cause. Can he fire a member of the Federal Reserve Board, even with cause? The suspicion that, for example, Lisa Cook committed mortgage fraud, something she denies and which has never been tested in court. Is that enough, the mere allegation, to lead to her dismissal under the law? And, of course, perhaps the most highly anticipated case involving presidential power. Does the president have the power with the stroke of a pen to redefine the terms of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment? The idea that people born in this country are American citizens? Or can the president direct the State Department not to issue passports to the children of people who are here illegally? And we'll see what happens. But there are a lot of experts who say, despite the fact that the court issued some significant 6-3 wins for the president in his immigration policy last week, he's likely to lose on the birthright citizenship case.
I was just going to ask if last week's decisions were any clue as to what will happen this week on birthright citizenship.
It's hard to know. But Manda, I think back to the argument earlier this year when really it focused on, does the president have the power to do this by executive order? The Constitution's 14th Amendment says that all persons born in the United States subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens. And while the administration is focusing on that question of jurisdiction, one of the arguments that they made was that in the mid-1800s, there was no such thing as birth tourism. The idea that people might travel to the United States for the express purpose of having a child here so that decades later the child with an American passport can bring the whole family over. The administration says it's an actual problem, even though they couldn't identify how often it happens. Chief Justice John Roberts responded to the notion by saying, well, it may be a new world, but it's the same Constitution.
That is ABC's Stephen Portnoy. Now, we've had a handful of decisions that have been handed down by the court since Stephen recorded with us a little earlier, including a Mississippi decision in which mail-in ballots can be received now counted up to 5 days after Election Day if they are postmarked by Election Day. That was one of the big issues in front of the court.
The other one that's just coming in right now is breaking. Rebecca Slaughter's challenge to her removal from her position as a member of the Federal Trade Commission. Remember that one? Under federal law, the president could only remove her for, hold on just a second, my screen is updating, only remove her for inefficiency, neglect of duty, or malfeasance in office. But he did not cite any of the grounds in firing her, so that goes to Slaughter.
And SCOTUS blog is also reporting this case involving the Lisa Cook, who was on the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors. President Trump ordered her removal. The vote, they say, on SCOTUS blog is 5-4, with Sotomayor, Kagan, Kavanaugh, and Ketanji Brown Jackson joining the Chief Justice. It would appear at issue in this case is their efforts to fire her. They're turning down the request by the government to pause the lower court's decision. That means, according to SCOTUS blog, Lisa Cook can continue to stay in office while the litigation continues.
It looks like that might be the final decision released today. They usually wrap up by the end of June, as Stephen Portnoy mentioned, so we will likely hear more rulings tomorrow.
All right, stay tuned for that. 7:19 now. The man accused in the April shooting at the White House Correspondents Association dinner has a status hearing today. Cole Allen from California has pleaded not guilty to attempting to assassinate President Trump and other government officials that night. Prosecutors say the 31-year-old was armed with a rifle, handgun, and other weapons when he tried to storm a hotel ballroom in Washington, D.C. Criminal defense attorney David Gelman expects Allen's attorneys to say he had mental health issues.
It's probably going to be the only card to play if you think about it. He was caught red-handed. They have a mountain of evidence against this guy. Videos, they have the train tickets.
Gelman says if mental illness is used as a defense, attorneys on both sides will likely focus on expert witnesses.
The FBI says there's been an increasing number of laser attacks on airplanes approaching the Yakima airport. In just the first 3 months of this year, there have been at least 19 incidents of someone pointing a bright green laser at pilots flying into Yakima. The FBI says even more incidents may have gone unreported. The lasers have been hitting all kinds of planes, from private to commercial, medical, and military aircraft. Shining a laser at a plane is a felony, could lead to a 5-year prison sentence and a fine of up to $250,000.
Well, a lot of us are preparing to hit the road, rails, and skies. TSA says it's expecting to screen about 18.7 million passengers between tomorrow and July 6th, with this coming Thursday, July 2nd, projected to be the busiest day.
While nearly 5.9 million people are expected to fly, the strongest year-over-year growth is actually coming from other modes of transportation, like cruises, trains, and buses, but driving remains the top choice, with about 85% or so of holiday travelers expected to take a road trip as fuel prices start to cool a bit. Still, the national average for a gallon of gas is up over 61 cents from a year ago. Meanwhile, traffic is expected to start to build in the later part of the week. Thursday could be the worst of it.
That's ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
At least 4 people have died in the severe floods that hit Kentucky. Governor Andy Beshear declared a state of emergency yesterday as storms dumped up to 8 inches of rain. Homes and streets were submerged, leading to more than 60 water rescues. 3 men in Madison County say their truck was stuck on a flooded road just after they'd picked up supplies to ride out the storm.
The 3 firefighters who lost their lives worked for the U.S. Wildland Fire Service and the U.S. Forest Service. They were responding to the Snyder Fire. Officials say they were overcome by flames and fast-moving wildfires. Wildfire activity has intensified across the western U.S. because of the hot, windy conditions.
The sheriff's office pulled their truck out. The National Weather Service has lifted flood warnings for parts of central and southern Kentucky.
This comes as sweltering heat is blanketing the Northeast this week. ABC News meteorologist Samara Theodore has the details.
Boston, by Thursday, it's feeling like 101. DC, 109 is what it'll feel like on Thursday. New York City, right here where we are, 106. So the feel like temperatures, that's when you factor in the humidity, it is really going to be something to be concerned about. Even farther west, Minneapolis on Monday feeling like 108 degrees.
Did you see video or pictures over the weekend of Boise where they got all that hail over the weekend?
I did.
Some people were saying they got 8 inches of hail in like an hour.
Yeah.
It looked like you're going down like a frozen river.
Yeah.
Because it was sitting on top of the flash flooding, and it looked like you were in the North Atlantic. It was wild.
It really got wild over the weekend.
This is why I never vacation in the summer. I like to stay here where the weather's perfect.
You don't want to be in New York City when it's 106 degrees and
not.
1,000,000% humid?
I do not.
Poor you. 7:23 now. Sully is at the traffic desk.
Bozeman will be nice next week, though, I'm pretty sure. I'm traveling.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
You're going to Elizabeth. Gotcha.
Not just randomly bringing up Bozeman.
Yeah,
You've been known to do that.
I miss Bozeman a lot. In case you haven't noticed, we got a big wedding to go to next weekend. So one of Tommy's teammates. So we're pretty excited about that. Looking at the drive right now, we do have some brake lights here and there on the 2 primary northbound routes, I-5 and 405. For I-5, we're up to 45 minutes now, with 25 of those minutes from South Center. You're going to hit the brakes pretty hard from the middle of Boeing Field past the West Seattle Bridge. For 405, the Renton S-curves are pretty heavy up past 44th there at the VMAC as we see the heavy brake lights there. By the way, Ty Okada getting married, former Bobcat and now current Seattle Seahawk, getting married, I think, in Great Falls that same weekend.
You weren't invited to that one.
You pick and choose. We got former teammates getting married on the same weekend. It's not appropriate. Anyway, so good luck to Ty and his soon-to-be wife, Anna. Looking at Renton to Bellevue there at about 30 minutes. As I said, across the lake, we're doing really well. Coming down from the north end, we've got brake lights here and there. We've got about a 40-minute trip from Everett to Seattle, 45. Everett to Bellevue. Olympia to Tacoma is only 35 minutes. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Weather around here, lovely. Mostly cloudy with some sun breaks and 69-hour high. Overnight lows in the mid-50s. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same, maybe a tad cooler. There's a slight chance of seeing a few sprinkles on Wednesday, but improving as we head toward the holiday. By Friday, partly cloudy and 73. So far, keep your fingers crossed. We're looking for mostly sunny skies and 76 for your 4th. Right now it's cloudy and 56 in Seattle.
Coming up, we'll have more of the day's top local headlines. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports on Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson's endorsement of 2 very progressive candidates for state representatives.
And what's coming up in the 735 commentary?
Shoplifting is getting out of control. We are the worst in the nation. What is going on here? I'll talk about it in today's commentary at 7:35.
You're listening to Seattle's Morning News.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO News Radio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM, powered by MyNorthwest.com.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters. Like that family movie night your daughter can't live without. Yeah, can't do that. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Download the KIRO Newsradio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO Newsradio app.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Puyallup Tribe's Firecracker Alley is now open. 3509 72nd Street East in Tacoma. Stock up now for the 4th at Puyallup Tribe's Firecracker Alley. Open now through July 4th. With over 100 fireworks stands and a variety of food and beverage options, you're sure to get your 4th of July off to a great start at Firecracker Alley. Don't miss the free fireworks show on June 30th. Learn more at puyalluptribe-nsn.gov. That's puyalluptribe-nsn.gov.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning, it's 7:30. A political shakeup for Democrats who represent Seattle.
Yeah, instead of endorsing two longtime Democratic state legislators who represent the city, Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson says she's endorsing their more progressive opponents.
We get the details live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, this appears to be a pretty significant move by social Democrats to grow their political power base in Seattle and state politics. Their first target, State Senator Jamie Peterson, who drafted one of the state's most progressive taxes, the income tax on millionaires. Well, Wilson applauded the tax and Peterson at the time. However, on Saturday, the Washington State Standard reports she told Peterson she will now be endorsing his opponent, Hannah Sabio Howell, a fellow Social Democrat who said this about Peterson on the G and Ursula show back in May.
We have been represented by a 20-year career politician, a moderate Democrat that I think is out of step with our district's values and what we could accomplish if we had more aligned leadership in that seat.
Wilson also told longtime state representative Jerry Pollitt that she will be endorsing his more progressive opponent, Ron Davis, who outlined his priorities in a recent political ad.
I'm running to freeze the rent in public housing, build over 1 million homes, double the buses on the road, and make sure childcare is affordable for every family, and protect our community from Donald Trump.
However, I want you to listen to Pollitt talk about tweaking the millionaire's tax to fund his constituents.
A mother of two earning $40,000 a year will pay less in taxes, and someone making over $1 million a year will pay more on that $1 million for the first time.
Because it seems that they share the all-up same kind of vision, taxing the rich to make housing, food, and other costs of living more affordable. But according to Mayor Wilson and the candidate she's endorsing, this move by Social Democrats is designed to break up what they call the status quo in politics. Davis and Pollitt are running for the 46th district, which includes North Seattle and Aurora Avenue, the scene of open-air drug markets and hundreds of shootings, thanks to an ongoing pimp turf war there. A 15-year-old was seriously injured most recently last Tuesday. Well, Davis doesn't seem to address crime in his top 7 priorities on his website. Pollitt told The Standard he was astonished by Mayor Wilson's endorsement because he has supported her policies ever since she was elected. Much more on this, including the endorsements coming from the Peterson camp now. The Washington State Democratic campaign putting out an email this morning in reaction to this news story. We'll have more on that coming up this morning.
All right, Luke Ducey reporting live.
The former general manager of residential dining at the University of Washington faces child sexual exploitation charges. Grant Lee Huff is 56 years old.
Investigators concluding he is, quote, a sexual predator who groomed and sexually assaulted multiple juveniles. According to court documents, those investigators combed through texts and calls, online activity, photos, and more, and found Ho had sexually abused 2 girls, a 15-year-old from Benton County and a 13-year-old from Pierce County, and also discovered a video showing Ho sexually assaulting the younger girls. Prosecutors expect him to be charged with sexual assault in the coming days.
That's KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
7:33 now. Time to check traffic on the 3s. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And we're definitely not seeing a quiet drive up the I-5 corridor now anymore, coming up from Federal Way to Seattle. Not only are there some brake lights past the new 509 off-ramp there getting into South Center, but really from the beginnings of Boeing Field on up into downtown now, it's really slow. We're 35 minutes from South Center into downtown and getting closer to an hour all the way from Federal Way. So that looks kind of like a typical Monday around. Same with the northbound 405 corridor. It's really heavy off and on from Renton on up past 44th getting up into Factoria. You're going to need a half an hour to make that drive now from Renton to Bellevue. Good news is most other roads are in pretty good shape. I mean, Puyallup to Renton up the valley, only 40 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma, no brake lights at all. 16 back and forth between Port Orchard and Tacoma all the way to Bremerton, looking really good. A little slowing now eastbound over Tiger Mountain on 18, but it's manageable. Coming down from the north end, a little bit more action south of Canyon Park on 405. Got about a 45-minute trip from Everett to Bellevue, about 40 from Everett to Seattle. The heaviest brake lights there getting into and through the Mount Lake Terrace area to pass the Edmonds exit. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast will be mostly cloudy for today, up around 70 for our high. Some sun breaks a possibility for the afternoon. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same. Slight chances of sprinkles on Wednesday. Thursday, mostly cloudy with sun breaks in 68. 73 by Friday, and your holiday on Saturday, the 4th of July, mostly sunny. And 76. We'll hope that holds. It's cloudy and 56 in Seattle right now.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
And it's time for the 7:35 commentary. We took our fifth wheel out to Hood Canal this past weekend. Saturday morning, I installed a new kitchen faucet in the trailer. I installed it wrong, needed a better wrench. So I ran to the nearest Walmart. The whole tool aisle there was behind plexiglass. So I pressed the call button. Waited. Pressed it again. Nothing. More than 10 minutes went by. A couple aisles over, some guy was trying to buy a can of spray paint, also locked up, also pressing his button. Up and down the store, customers standing by waiting for somebody to come unlock a case so they could buy a wrench, a can of paint, a pack of underwear. The workers weren't ignoring us. They were overwhelmed. 3 people on the floor can't cover 20 aisles of plexiglass. They're doing their best. It just doesn't work. A 15-minute errand for me took an hour. The store wasn't crowded. The store was locked up. And I'm standing there thinking, what kind of way is this to live? I've spent time talking with people who steal for a living, not the grandmother slipping a can of soup into her purse. I mean, people who get up in the morning and lift $200 to $1,500 in merchandise in a day, every single day, the way you and I go to work. They hand it to a guy called a fence. The fence resells it. In many of these cases, that cash buys that night's fentanyl or meth. The addict needs that money by dark. And the rest of us get the plexiglass. We didn't vote on that deal, but every time you stand in front of a locked case waiting for a $6 wrench, you're paying for someone else's addiction. Your time, your patience, your dignity as a customer in a store that treats you like a criminal because it can't stop the actual ones. Forbes magazine ranks Washington number 1 in the nation for retail theft impact, number 1 out of 50, and a lot of it is organized. State pilot program tracked the problem last year. Across 3 counties in 5 months, retailers filed nearly 6,000 organized theft reports. One crew, same faces, same vehicle. They worked cosmetics counters across the 3 counties before anybody caught up. Police responded to 402 of those reports. Now, before you blame the cops, Washington has fewer police officers per capita than any state in the country, dead last. Olympia stretched the force that thin, then acted surprised when nobody comes to unlock a wrench. And the truly maddening part is the state found a fix, a dedicated prosecutor. King County used that one position to file 142 retail theft cases in 6 months, 2.5 times their usual pace. The state's own Commerce Department reviewed it and called it highly effective. Then the money ran out. This spring, lawmakers tried to restart it with another $500,000. It was approved in the state budget. Governor Ferguson struck the line as he signed the budget. $500,000 out of a budget of nearly $80 billion. Said we couldn't afford it. Now, think about how the math looks to someone in withdrawal. See, he can hit 3 stores, walk out with $700 in goods. The fence pays you $150 on the spot. That beats any shift you could clock, and it pays before the sickness gets bad. Most shoplifting gets charged as third-degree theft, anything under $750. Cite and release from police. Same person back in another store that afternoon. So here's what I think. Repeat offenders get 2 options, jail or treatment. Pick one. Real treatment, funded, available that day. Turn it down? Well, it's jail. That's the answer. Not next month, that day. So on Saturday, I got my wrench eventually. At least my pipes aren't leaking right now. Everything else still behind plexiglass at that Walmart, and it'll stay there until the state decides a working fix is worth more than a balanced spreadsheet. The shoplifters aren't paying for this. The addicts aren't. The fences aren't. You are. Every time you stand in front of a locked case, burning your Saturday morning on a 15-minute errand that takes an hour, that is the price of looking the other way. And that's a commentary for Monday, June 29th, 2026. You can text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476. You can always join the live chat on our YouTube Live at KIRO Newsradio, or you can leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
It's 7:40. What's coming up in traffic, Sully?
Well, we're starting to look relatively normal on the I-5 northbound drive getting into downtown. We'll break it down next.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news, capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
7:43 now. We check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
And we are definitely seeing a normal Monday. So what was an early, kind of a holiday week Monday early, kind of gone for those of you on northbound 5 and northbound 405. We'll start with I-5 first, which is, a pretty good drive. Olympia all the way through Tacoma, through Federal Way, about 272nd up to the Kent Des Moines Road. There's a little bit of braking, but boy, it's from the beginnings of Boeing Field past the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. We're still running 35 minutes from South Center and 55 plus all the way from Federal Way. So not exactly a miniature holiday discount, I guess is what we're going to say for this Monday. Northbound 405, same deal. The Renton S-curves are very heavy all the way up past 44th. Then you get a little bit of a break, and it's not too bad into downtown Bellevue, but a half an hour from Renton to Bellevue. I was hoping it might stay under that, but such is life. Looking at northbound 167, pretty good day for you guys. Under 45 minutes to make the trip there. Olympia to Tacoma, as I said, no problem. 16 and 18 are okay. Lake bridges are fine. Coming down from the north end, we do have some brake lights south of Canyon Park. We've got about a 44-minute trip from Everett down into Bellevue, about 40 from Everett into Seattle. So really not all that bad out of the north end. This report brought to you by Wilcox Farms. For a convenient, healthy snack on the go, look for ready-to-eat Wilcox hard-boiled eggs. Find Wilcox eggs at Costco, Metro Market, Safeway, and other local grocers.
Mostly cloudy today, maybe a few sunbreaks. High in the upper 60s. Dry tomorrow as well. Wednesday is a day we might get a few showers. Thursday, Friday looking cloudy and sunbreaks. And Saturday, the 4th of July, right now it looks like it'll be partly sunny and 76. Seattle right now is cloudy and 55.
And coming up, Sully, a special Monday edition of A Choke Point.
Yeah, I'm dipping my toe into the commentary waters, and I'm going after parents. Parents of kids with e-bikes. Get ready. It's all coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
We're here for Closets by Design. Mornings fall apart when closets don't work. Your pantry's jammed, your garage, you're stepping over stuff. Most homes were never designed for real life. At Closets by Design, it's not just closets, garages, pantries, laundry rooms, home offices, wall beds, all custom built, nothing off a shelf. Everything finally has a place. Limited time, 40% off, plus an additional 15% off, and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get your project started today.
Have something to say? We'd love to hear it. Text KIRO Newsradio at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better.
better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we make protecting your home simple and affordable. With flexible financing and 20-plus years of trusted service, you can count on lasting quality from Guardian. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Well, I hope you're ready. Sully is fired up this morning, pulling no punches, Manda.
In his crosshairs, powerful electric bikes and the roving groups of teenagers and preteens terrorizing the streets.
Something has to change, you guys, and that's why I wrote this after I saw something I still cannot believe from last week. Enough is enough, parents. You need to be responsible. It's time to take away that e-motorcycle pretending to be a bicycle and hold your kids accountable for their bad behavior. And law enforcement, it's time to lower the boom and end this now. I think we've all put up with this for long enough. We've seen this bad behavior for years. Started with one or two kids doing wheelies in parking lots or maybe going too fast on our neighborhood streets, to now full street takeovers and complete disregard for safety, the law, and simple common sense. This must end now. And that only happens if you parents grow a backbone. I can't believe what I witnessed last week. Driving on one of the busiest highways in Snohomish County, 132nd Street Southeast, a road that connects I-5 to SR9, SR99 on the other side, middle of the afternoon, when a group of nearly 20 young boys, teens or under, completely took over the westbound lanes riding their illegal e-motorcycles. And yes, they are illegal. I'll get to that in a minute. They were passing cars, running red lights, running from the cops. 2 Snohomish County deputies were in pursuit with their lights and sirens trying to stop them. This group of kids just blew them off. According to the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office, when I asked them to investigate this in a statement, quote, the deputy activated his emergency lights, pulled across the intersection in an attempt to stop traffic and stop the group. The riders all looked at the deputy and refused to stop and accelerated away. The deputy activated his siren, pulled behind the group to again signal them to stop. The riders looked back, and several pulled out their phones to record and did wheelies while disregarding the deputy's signal to stop. The bikes all appeared to have no registration plates. Continuing from the statement, the deputy did not initiate a pursuit, but instead deactivated his lights and sirens. The group then ran the red light at 19th to go northbound, proceeded to ride in a reckless manner, passing illegally, running stoplights at multiple intersections. The group then split apart, and the deputy lost sight of them. Okay, I get it, calling off the pursuit for safety. I get it. These kids are unpredictable. They're doing really dumb things. But somebody has to crack down on this, and that's why I'm looking directly at you, the parents. Likely the people who bought these illegal bikes for their kids. The law has changed. As of June, no one under 16 years old can ride what they call a Class 3 e-bike. Those are the electric bikes, really motorcycles, that have no pedals and go super fast and have really big engines. Under the new rules, e-bikes, to be considered an e-bike, can have no more than 750 watts of power and go only 20 miles an hour without pedaling. Anything else is a motorcycle, and riders need a motorcycle driver's license to ride them. It's time for parents to educate themselves on this new law and make some very tough choices. Take those illegal bikes away. I'd rather have an angry child than a dead one. And parents, you might want to remind your kids, too, that it's not cute to disregard and run from the cops, take over streets, and run red lights. I know it's super cool on TikTok and YouTube. That's only going to end badly. Maybe not today, but someday. And maybe not for just your kid, but for the person that runs your kid over when they can't get out of the way when they do something stupid like this. It's got to end. And parents, it's up to you or nothing is going to change.
I'm guessing it's the exact same group I witnessed the following day on 164th, also a very busy road. They took over 2 whole lanes of eastbound traffic, and it was scary.
Yeah, it was one of the second or third busiest streets in Snohomish County as well. They're 164th, going right through Mill Creek. Yeah, I get it. We all kind of looked the other way when it was in the neighborhood. But now this stuff is, someone is going to die, and I don't want that to happen. And I don't want to be the poor son of a gun who knocks over one of these kids and kills them and has to live with that the rest of their life.
So this is happening in neighborhoods everywhere. My 13-year-old was one of these kids who had one of these bikes, and last week we came to a decision as a family. You're no longer riding this. If we go up onto like a trail or something like that where kids have ridden dirt bikes for like 100 years, that's one thing. But going through the neighborhood, we always kind of monitored him with it's called Life 360. So we knew if he was ever going too fast or anything like that. So we just finally had it last week when police said enough in Auburn. And police fined one of my son's buddies $300 for riding one of these e-bikes. And maybe that's the financial incentive that gets through to parents. Like, you know what? I don't want to pay this sort of fine because cops are cracking down. So we're no longer doing that in our family. There's, it's like a fire sale. Young Sam, he's like, I should have sold it when Dad told me to sell it because now I think a lot of families are going to start making those decisions like ours did.
And I think a lot of parents maybe just be naive about this. They may not understand what the rules are or what the law is or what the different styles of bikes are. You just understand if it doesn't have pedals, your kid needs to have a motorcycle's license, which means he has to be over 16 and have a motorcycle enhancement to a driver's license. And Charlie, I don't mean to be super harsh on this, but this comes from a place of safety.
Yeah, why not?
I'd rather
be harsh.
Yeah, I'd rather pay that $300 fine from an Auburn cop than pay for a funeral. 100%. And that's what it's getting to. It's inevitable. We're lucky it hasn't happened. You saw it on 164th. I saw it on 132nd.
It was terrifying. I was scared.
People have seen it all over the area, and parents have got to set better examples too, because I'm sure some parents are riding with their kids on similar illegal bikes now, and we've got to set a better example. This is not going to end well.
Okay, check out more on mynorthwest.com for Sully's bonus choke point today.
7:53. Let's find out what's happening on the roads right now, Sully.
Well, it's a pretty good day across the board with just a couple of exceptions. Northbound 5, northbound 405 are a little heavy for a Monday going into a holiday week. But, by most day standards, it's manageable. 55 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, plus or minus, is probably a faster trip than you expected. 35 of those minutes are from South Center. It's bumper to bumper from the beginnings of Boeing Field now up past the West Seattle Bridge and then also getting into and through downtown. 405 northbound, bumper to bumper from 167 up past 44th, little over a half an hour from Renton to Bellevue. And as we approach 8 a.m., we do have some pretty sizable backup onto northbound 167 from 180th on in. So we've pushed over 40 minutes there on that trip. Pierce County, though, quiet. Great. Coming down from the north end, 40 minutes Everett to Seattle, about 45 Everett to Bellevue. Most of the braking there right by 522. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Don't miss fireworks nights all summer, presented by T-Mobile. Up next, Patriotic Show, July 3rd. Get your tickets, mariners.com/fireworks.
Mostly cloudy, some sun breaks today and tomorrow. Highs will be in the upper 60s. A chance of showers on Wednesday. Otherwise, a high of 66. We are dry Thursday and Friday. And then 4th of July, Saturday, looking for a high of 76 in Seattle. Partly sunny skies. Right now it's 55 downtown.
And coming up, KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey has more on a UW employee being charged with sexual abuse of 2 minors.
And at 8:15, News Nation's Kelly Meyer with an update on the U.S. conflict with Iran.
This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Summertime means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, and more. So don't let your bank stop you from having fun. Free checking at WaFd Bank is the way to go. There are no minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Plus, you'll get spending tools and the latest technology to help you stay on budget. Not only is WaFd Bank rated a best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states, so you have access wherever you are. Visit wafdbank.com to open your account. Additional fees may apply. Member FDIC.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO News Radio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM, powered by MyNorthwest.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO News Radio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Puyallup Tribe's Firecracker Alley is now open. 3509 72nd Street East in Tacoma. Stock up now for the 4th at Puyallup Tribe's Firecracker Alley. Open now through July 4th. With over 100 fireworks stands and a variety of food and beverage options, you're sure to get your 4th of July off to a great start at Firecracker Alley. Don't miss the free fireworks show on June 30th. Learn more at puyalluptribe-nsn.gov. That's puyalluptribe-nsn.gov.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Some big rulings handed down by the U.S. Supreme Court today. Among the decisions, one that expands presidential power. The court ruling that the president does have the power to fire the heads of independent agencies. However, in a separate ruling, the court allowed Fed Governor Lisa Cook to keep her job pending further court fights. The court also ruled that mail-in balloting and ballots that arrive after Election Day can be counted in the results of the election. Also today, the High Court rejecting President Trump's appeal in the E. Jean Carroll's civil suit. ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
The High Court didn't explain its decision. It simply issued an order denying President Trump's appeal of the $5 million defamation award a federal court issued to writer E. Jean Carroll in 2022. That stemming from what Trump said about an earlier case Carroll brought in which Trump was found liable for sexual assault. The president denies he committed any offense, but the High Court's ruling means the defamation judgment stands, and he will have to pay.
This is ABC News. NBC Universal is splitting with Comcast as a part of a deal that will turn the media companies into two separate entities. New figures show about 3 million fewer people had Affordable Care Act health insurance plans in February of this year compared to last year, possibly because of the high cost now that federal subsidies have been taken away. It's back to court today for Luigi Mangione, who's charged with the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York. There was talk of a plea deal, but ABC's Phil Tate outside the courthouse says not much has been discussed about that recently.
Luigi Mangione will step back inside of a Lower Manhattan courtroom. But this comes after sources say that prosecutors had put a plea deal on the table and that there have been discussions between prosecutors and defense attorneys for Luigi Mangione. It's unclear how far these conversations even went towards even coming to an agreement, but we know at some point those conversations went silent.
Funeral services today for legendary music executive Clive Davis, who launched the careers of multiple new stars. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
8:02, here's what's happening on Seattle's Morning News. A University of Washington employee is accused of paying teenage girls for sex and has pleaded not guilty. Luke Ducey will have more coming up.
Investigators in Tacoma trying to figure out what caused an explosion at an apartment complex last night. Fire crews say smoke was pouring from an electrical conduit before the blast, and dozens of families are now displaced.
And a 16-month strike is over at Seattle's Walrus and the Carpenter. A award-winning oyster bar says the picket line is down.
Just about 8:03 and time for a check on traffic. For that, we turn things over to Chris Sullivan.
It turns out we do have a new crash to start the 8 o'clock hour. It's northbound I-5 just north of the Michigan Curve, or kind of right in it, kind of before you finish the sweeping right-hand turn up the hill towards the West Seattle Bridge. Give yourself a couple of extra minutes there. Not sure which lane it's in. It looks to be on the right-hand side, but again, I can't quite see with the cams that I have. We've got about a 55-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle, with 35 of those minutes from South Center. Northbound 405 also kind of heavy today for a Monday going into a holiday weekend. We're looking at about 35 minutes from Renton to Bellevue, and all of that braking is really between 167 up past 30th. Behind that, some spillover onto the Valley Freeway, but all in all, under 45 minutes, probably closer to 42 to go from Puyallup to Renton. That is a win. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you guys. 18 and 16 look pretty decent. Lake bridges are fine. Coming down from the north end, about 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. It's very light today coming out of Snohomish County. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
8:03 on the Monday, June 29th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
The former head of residential dining at the University of Washington is facing charges accused of sexually abusing 2 young girls.
Joining us live with the latest is KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, these are some pretty scary allegations this morning. Police arrested 56-year-old Grant Lee Huff. He's charged with 6 felony counts related to sexual abuse and exploitation of minors. Court documents say the suspect paid a 15-year-old and 13-year-old through apps on their phones. When they arrested him, officers say they also found a carry-on suitcase described as a to-go sex kit with sex toys and clothing inside. Investigators say he also gave his victims gifts like shoes and clothing, alcohol, marijuana, and vaping products. The mother of the 15-year-old victim in Benton County in eastern Washington contacted investigators back in March after she claimed she found sexually explicit images and conversations on her daughter's phone. The sheriff's office then contacted Seattle police, where police say the suspect lives. Prosecutors say Huff is also charged with attacking that 13-year-old girl in Pierce County. Police say he used encrypted and auto-deleting messages to avoid detection. He's also accused of buying one victim a cell phone so her parents would not find out that he was communicating, but also recording encounters in hotel rooms, according to the Seattle Times. Huff is now being held on $750,000 bail. He has pleaded not guilty.
Luke Ducey reporting live. It's 8:05.
U.S. Marshals rescued an endangered child from a homeless camp in Olympia last week, and they believe she may have been a victim of sex trafficking. The girl was reported missing in May after disappearing from Mesa, Arizona. Thursday, they found her at a homeless encampment known as The Jungle in East Olympia. One camp resident spoke with KIRO 7 TV.
Nothing surprises me anymore. It has progressively gotten worse every summer.
Neighbors of the encampment say they'll continue to call police when they see signs of illegal activity.
Despite objections from neighbors, Seattle has a new tiny home village. Mayor Katie Wilson cut the ribbon Saturday on Brighton Village in South Seattle. It's 14 units for families, couples, and people on their own, opening in July at South Orchard Street and Rainier Avenue South. Seattle Times reports the village will be run by Nicholsville. That's the grassroots group of homeless and formerly homeless people who share chores, elect their own leaders. They named themselves after former Seattle Mayor Greg Nichols out of spite, saying he swept encampments back when there weren't enough shelter beds to go around.
Tacoma's biggest homeless shelter is about to get a lot bigger, but there is a catch. The Tacoma Rescue Mission is adding nearly 100 beds to its men's shelter on South Tacoma Way. The $20 million project will let it sleep 314 people a night. The executive director tells the News Tribune the building's almost ready, but they need the money to hire more staff. He says the same crew can't handle double the people. They're working on plans to get more funding. Pierce County is extending its current contract with the shelter for the next 9 months.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
You're just going to let it keep playing, aren't you, Manda?
Heck yeah.
That's Manda Factor. I'm Charlie Harger. Nick Cretia is picking the music this morning.
Yep, Chris Sullivan is here watching traffic, and producer David Burbank in the studio with us.
And we got Frank Lenzi, our news director, out at the news desk, following us on all the big stories for the day.
Coming up this hour, we're going to check in with News Nation's Kelly Meyer. The U.S. and Iran continue to look for peace as the countries exchange fire over the weekend.
And G. Scott will stop by to discuss Seattle's payouts to small businesses amidst growing concerns of safety and vandalism.
It's 8:07. Crews are fighting a fast-moving wildfire near Winthrop in Okanagan County. The Hamilton fire broke out yesterday morning just west of town. Strong winds pushed the flames east. That forced an immediate evacuation of downtown Winthrop. The alert was blunt. Evacuate now, head toward Twisp, and don't wait for a knock on your door. The State Transportation Department says the fire also shut down Highway 20 in both directions, but it reopened by early afternoon. The fire grew to about 100 acres. The Red Cross did open an evacuation center at the Methow Valley Community Center.
An update on the Whidbey Island explosion we first told you about last week. According to KIRO 7, the final injured firefighter has been released from the hospital. Authorities say evidence suggests a lit cigarette may have set off about 700 pounds of fireworks in that home. 2 firefighters were quickly cleared from the scene, but the third needed hand surgery at Harborview. Authorities now reviewing whether the homeowner could face charges.
Tacoma firefighters are investigating an explosion at an apartment complex last night. This happened near South 12th and Whitman, not far from Hunt Middle School. Chelsea Shepard with Tacoma Fire tells KIRO 7 smoke was coming from an electrical conduit when alarms sounded and a resident pulled the fire alarm to warn neighbors. The blast happened about 20 minutes after crews arrived.
So it sounds like the explosion actually happened inside the wall, but it did blow some particle board and such like out the back door. So it was pretty significant.
No one was hurt, but people in about 60 units had to find somewhere else to stay last night.
Seattle police say a man was shot in the Capitol Hill neighborhood Saturday night.
This happened just before 9 o'clock near the Trader Joe's between Madison and Olive Streets. Police say the 45-year-old man was shot in the stomach, took himself to Kaiser Permanente's Capitol Hill building before being transferred to Harborview Medical Center. At this point, though, it's unclear what led up to this incident and no word of anyone in custody.
That's KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
Police are investigating a violent attack at a South Seattle community center. It caused widespread damage and injured a teenager. It was just before 9 o'clock Friday night. Officers near the Van Asselt Community Center on South Myrtle Street heard dozens of shots fired. When they arrived, they found a 15-year-old boy who had been standing near the entrance. He'd been shot in the shoulder and cheek. Investigators believe someone fired more than 90 rounds. The gunfire damaged the community center, shattered glass, and also hit several cars parked nearby. No arrests have been made.
The mother of a young boy who died in what may have been a tragic case of child abuse in Aberdeen is speaking out, saying the system failed her son. Amanda Lynn Cervalon spent the last 2 years in prison. When she got out, she couldn't find her son, Aiden. She told KIRO 7 he was supposed to be with his father, Jacob Bevins, but the dad claimed the boy was staying with an aunt in Idaho.
They obviously went and followed up with that and found that wasn't true. Roberta, his aunt, said that she had never met Aiden.
Police say eventually Jacob Bevins told them the boy had hit his head and died, and he buried him in the backyard of his home. He faces charges of homicide by abuse, assault of a child, and other crimes.
Just 2 months after opening, Highland Espresso in Ballard was hit by burglars. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman spoke with owner Lauren Ruiz.
Whoever broke in stole some incredibly vital pieces of equipment, from bike parts, food in the fridge.
They stole a very, very expensive coffee grinder, our sales machine.
Even the DVR that contains all of their security footage.
We can't really go find the guy.
She says it's going to cost around $10,000 to replace and fix.
Seattle's Pride Parade made its way through downtown over to Seattle Center yesterday. KIRO 7 reports this year's theme was Rally.
In a time, especially now, we need to rally together.
Organizers say the theme reflects the resilience required during a challenging moment for LGBTQ plus communities.
We now know which teams will face off in Seattle's 5th World Cup game on Wednesday. Belgium and Senegal will go head-to-head in the round of 32 match. Belgium is the winner of Group G thanks to a victory over New Zealand Friday. Senegal actually lost to both France and Norway, but a 5-0 win over Iraq put them ahead in the goal differential. It'll be the first time Belgium and Senegal have played in the World Cup.
And the Washington State Patrol wants you to make good choices as you enjoy the next 2 World Cup matches in Seattle. Troopers will conduct extra DUI patrols on match days. Next one is Wednesday at 1 with Belgium versus Senegal, and the final game is next Monday. On Friday night, troopers in King County arrested 11 drivers for suspected impairment. Egypt and Iran battled to a draw in that night's match.
It's 8:12, and that's time for a check on the weather. For that, here's KIRO 7 TV's Nick Allard.
A lot of clouds today and the next few days. In fact, through Thursday, very similar, with just clouds early, then a few late-day sun breaks. Could see a random sprinkle here and there, but we're mainly dry. I wouldn't worry too much about any rain. Highs are going to be right around the upper 60s and lower 70s. Tomorrow, I think you're going to see about 66, and then Wednesday's about 65. But by Friday, we're going to go back into the low 70s with plenty of sunshine. And then this weekend, morning clouds, afternoon sun. Looks really nice for the 4th and 5th. Highs both days, at least in the mid to upper 70s. Looks great. Really, really nice.
Can that really be on the 4th of July, sunny and 76?
Isn't the old cliche that at least on one of the holiday weekends, so Memorial Day, 4th of July, or Labor Day, at least one of them needs to be a rain out?
Yeah.
Not this one, though.
Nope.
Looking great.
Beautiful. Right now it's cloudy and 55 in Seattle.
At 8:13, let's get a check on the roadways with Chris Sullivan.
And once again, our good friend Adam, the Staples driver, for the win today to give me a clue as to what's happening on northbound I-5 as you work your way up towards the West Seattle Bridge. The right shoulder is what's blocked as you get up there past Albro. Nothing blocking, and it's a stall, but that's why you have the brake lights pretty heavy from the north end of Boeing Field past that scene up to the West Seattle Bridge. 35 minutes from South Center, 55 all the way from Federal Way. The good news is you really don't hit the brakes much at all from Federal Way on up to the middle of Boeing Field, and behind that, Olympia on up to that corridor looks really good. All of Pierce, Thurston County, super quiet, which is the way I like it on a Monday. Puyallup to Renton, nice and easy, 40 minutes for you. Heaviest spot there at the north end part of that drive, and then Renton to Bellevue is about 35. Lake bridges are fine. A little bit slowing of both directions of I-90 approaching 405, but by most days' standards, not bad. And really quiet coming out of Snohomish County today, under 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Don't miss fireworks nights all summer, presented by T-Mobile. Up next, the Patriotic Show, July 3rd. Get your tickets, mariners.com/fireworks.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's Morning News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Some big rulings handed down by the U.S. Supreme Court today. Among the decisions, one that expands presidential power. The court ruling that the president does have the power to fire the heads of independent agencies. However, in a separate ruling, the court allowed Fed Governor Lisa Cook to keep her job pending further court fights. The court also ruled that mail-in balloting and ballots that arrive after Election Day can be counted in the results of the election. Also today, the High Court rejecting President Trump's appeal in the E. Jean Carroll civil suit. ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
The High Court didn't explain its decision. It simply issued an order denying President Trump's appeal of the $5 million defamation award a federal court issued to writer E. Jean Carroll in 2022. That stemming from what Trump said about an earlier case Carroll brought in which Trump was found liable for sexual assault. The president denies he committed any offense, but the High Court's ruling means the defamation judgment stands, and he will have to pay.
This is ABC News.
A federal judge has cleared the way for a sweeping class action lawsuit over plumbing failures at the Pierce County Jail. The federal judge has certified a class covering inmates since May of 2020 who were housed in areas with alleged sewage backups and foul odors. The News Tribune reports attorneys are seeking court-ordered repairs. The county had argued some of the backups were caused by inmate misuse.
Burn bans now in place across 8 western Washington counties. They include King, Pierce, Kitsap, Snohomish, Mason, Clallam, San Juan, Whatcom counties. Island County plans to implement an outdoor ban starting July 1st. No open burning is allowed except small recreational fires in approved pits. With the 4th of July approaching, you're urged to attend a public fireworks show instead of lighting your own, especially in Kitsap County.
A magnitude 5.5 earthquake struck off the Oregon coast early this morning. It was about 185 miles southwest of the city of Eugene. It hit at 4:35, more than 6 miles deep. There were 2 more smaller quakes off the Oregon coast after that. There was no tsunami threat.
Washington State had a little official presence at the Great American State Fair on the National Mall last week, part of the nation's 250th birthday celebration. Washington Republican Congressman Michael Baumgartner tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM he visited the site.
Officially, the state government of Washington, our left-wing Democrats, sent nothing to the booth, so it was just a backdrop that America 250 had been put up, and then just a couple of empty chairs.
State officials have cited cost estimates ranging from $100,000 to $1 million as a reason for not participating. Several other Democratic-led states also chose not to send exhibits.
Well, here's evidence of the strength of solar weather patterns. 2 active space telescopes have been driven down into precariously low orbits by eruptions from the sun. ABC's Jim Ryan tells us what NASA intends to do about it.
To keep it from plunging out of orbit and burning up in Earth's atmosphere, the Swift Space Telescope needs a lift. Enter a 3-armed robot built by a startup company called Catalyst Space.
It has tremendous amounts of maneuverability.
Catalyst founder Gan Hee Lee says the mission is clear.
To push this multi-ton, $500 million satellite back up higher in altitude.
Catalyst has offered NASA no guarantees that this first-of-its-kind mission will be successful. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
That mission could launch as early as tomorrow.
A 53-year-old woman identified as the driver whose electric bike hit a crowd in a New York City park yesterday. ABC's Lucy Yang is at the scene in Brooklyn.
According to police, the driver came roaring into the park and hit at least 9 pedestrians who thought they were safe in the park. 4 are now in critical condition, 5 others unstable. The driver was also taken to the hospital.
It was a 3-wheel motorized bike. It went into Commodore Barry Park in the Fort Greene section of Brooklyn.
A 31-year-old woman has become the latest person attacked by an alligator in Florida. It's the 3rd such incident in a week.
The victim was swimming with friends in a Seminole County river on Sunday when she was grabbed.
It's pretty dark, so I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it just caught them completely off guard.
Leo Estupiñan knows the area well.
It's kind of scary hearing about the alligator because I've seen a couple big ones.
The woman later died of her injuries. Animal control officers are trying to trap the alligator that attacked her. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Starting Wednesday, millions of older Americans will have access to obesity drugs through Medicare for just a $50 copay per month. News Nation's Xavier Walton reports.
The program is called Medicare GLP-1 Bridge, and temporary meaning it's going to be through the end of 2027. Starting July 1st, a new Medicare pilot program is going to expand access to medications, giving eligible seniors a chance to get the drugs for as little as $50 a month. The goal to hopefully, help treat obesity before it leads to more serious health problems like heart disease, stroke, or diabetes.
Qualifying seniors would have to meet eligibility requirements.
Well, tick, tick, boom. Why are tick-borne diseases on the rise? Here's ABC's Brad Milkey.
In much of the country, this was a weekend to be outside. In my hood, it was sunny, birds were chirping, grass was growing, and yet the moment that grass gets above your ankles, you're at risk for another summertime danger.
Of course, we're talking about ticks.
The creepy crawly ticks.
There is another tick-borne illness.
Tick bites have been on the rise in the U.S. this year. During an unusually hot April, emergency rooms were already getting significantly more visits from people who had found these teeny tiny arachnids latched onto their skin, potentially spreading disease. My nightmare is getting Lyme disease from one of these little bloodsuckers. But in recent years, there are also other diseases on the rise, according to our ABC medical correspondent, Dr. Darian Sutton.
This is called alpha-gal syndrome. It's an allergy to red meat, and this is caused by the Lone Star tick.
This is wild. When this tick bites you, he says, it can introduce this tiny sugar molecule into your bloodstream, which may trigger a reaction from your immune system and, bizarrely, an allergy to red meat, meaning the next time you eat steak or pork or lamb, you're liable to experience scary symptoms.
Lip swelling, itching of your skin, that can even progress to abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, and in severe cases, which can be life-threatening, trouble breathing, and anaphylaxis.
At the moment, there's no cure for alpha-gal, and when you hear the Lone Star tick, you might think this is limited to Texas. Guess what? It's not. Just because it's got a cute little white spot on its back, not really a star, but close enough, it is found throughout much of the eastern U.S. But that's not the only tick doing the rounds. The black-legged tick, also known as the deer tick, the same one that can give you Lyme, is increasingly transmitting something called Powassan virus, which can attack your nervous system with neurological symptoms that can resemble a stroke. Why are these diseases on the rise? Well, simply put, it's because ticks are on the rise. Climate change means critters that like warm, humid weather can thrive for longer and in more environments than ever before. In fact, I was shocked to learn this. A major source of new tick bites are coming from urban areas. That's right, between the weather and the fact that cities have made great strides in restoring green spaces, there are more opportunity for ticks than there have been in decades. Like if you bring back the wildlife to your city, biologists say you're going to bring back all the wildlife. The New York Times reports that when a free tick testing clinic in Pennsylvania got a 50% spike in test requests earlier this year, most of them came from Pittsburgh and Philly. This is why scientists say whoever you are, wherever you are, you got to be vigilant.
Tall grass, wooded areas, but even on your normal day, for example, leaf litter can contain these ticks. Walking your dog, gardening.
Cover your legs and ankles on long walks. Check yourself when you get home. Check your kids, your pets. As another doctor told us, make sure there are no new freckles there in the afternoon that weren't there in the morning.
That's ABC's Brad Milkey.
Well, if you have, $45 million just laying around, Seattle has a deal for you. The city's most expensive home just took a huge pay cut. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, the waterfront mansion in Denny Blaine relisted last week at $45 million, down from $75 million last summer. That's a 40% drop. The estate is linked to developer Bruce Bloom. It has 12 bedrooms, 12 fireplaces, a pool, and a private dock on Lake Washington. Now the second priciest listing in the state, a sign that even mega mansions are being marked down.
I just saw a picture of it. It's quite spectacular. It's 8:23. Time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes for you. And here's Chris Sullivan.
The mansion, not the Denny Blaine Beach near.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that for you, Sully.
I got it. Thank you. Moving on. For once, I'm going to go straight to traffic like I should. Be a good boy here. First legit crash of the morning for those of you on I-5 southbound heading down out of the Everett area and trying to get over to the Boeing plant or to Mukilteo. The ramp from southbound I-5 to westbound 526 is closed now. The crash didn't look too bad, but we've got a couple of fire trucks and emergency rigs that have just shown up and have closed that off-ramp. So everyone is now if you're in that little two-lane off-ramp, everyone has to go up to Everett Mall Boulevard, Everett Mall Way, and then work your way back around past the cemetery. So that is causing a little bit of slowing in that general area, and that's why we've jumped up over 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, because we have a little bit of hesitation there in that general area. For those of you going northbound, we're still working on this stall blocking the right shoulder as you get past the north end of Boeing Field. We're still up at 55 minutes from the Federal Way area into Seattle. Renton to Bellevue is trying to get better. Once you're up to 30th, it's in pretty good shape the rest of the way. Back under 35 minutes from Renton to Bellevue. Valley Freeway is really nice. 40 minutes for you guys. That's a pretty good drive. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you. The Lake Bridges are fine. The drives from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, I just gave you again with that little bit of slowing there by 526. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Forecast looks like it'll be cloudy today. Some sun breaks by the afternoon. 69 the forecast high. 67 tomorrow. Chance of sprinkles on Wednesday. Mostly cloudy Thursday. Partly sunny with low 70s Friday, and 4th of July Saturday rather. Right now looking like it'll be 76 in Seattle. Right now, it is 56.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports on Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson's endorsement of two very progressive candidates for state representative.
You're listening to Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Have you ever really thought about what happens when you can no longer care for yourself?
If you're not prepared, it's like they just ship you off to a nursing home and you may not even have considered all the options that are available to you.
After retiring, Vic attended a free seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayach at LifePoint Law, and it changed the way he planned for his future.
He talked about not running out of money, not being a burden to your family. Those are two kind of basic principles that are obviously important.
So what's Vic's advice?
You have to have a plan. You need a running start. You need to be able to understand the system. I would encourage people to consider getting educated. Rajiv has a lot of knowledge, a lot of practical experience that can be helpful.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way on July 7th, Bremerton July 9th, Everett July 11th, or Bellevue July 18th. Space is limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. lifepointlaw.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO News Radio.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than a tear out. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Stop waiting. We're having a trade-in sale. You'll save $30 per door and drawer front off the cost of your new kitchen. Count them up and see how much you'll save. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
This is the story of Julie Guillot. She's a Leukemia and Lymphoma Society advocate and the mother of a child who battled blood cancer.
Zach was diagnosed with AML, a deadly leukemia, when he was only 5. While the treatment really attacked the cancer, unfortunately it also attacked his body. Uncontrollable fevers, terrible nosebleeds, and his skin was burned from the inside out. He died at just 9 years old, really from the treatment that was meant to save him.
The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society was founded 70 years ago by parents who also lost their child to cancer. Today, we're pioneering breakthrough treatments for kids with cancer.
We are so close to finding better treatments for kids with cancer. So it's too late to save Zach, but working together, we can save thousands of kids just like him.
Visit LLS.org and save a child's life.
Download the KIRO News Radio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO News Radio app.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing. And no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 8:30. A political shakeup for Democrats that represent Seattle.
Instead of endorsing two longtime Democratic state legislators who represent the city, Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson says she's endorsing their more progressive opponents.
We get the details live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
This appears to be a significant move by social Democrats to grow their power base here in Seattle and across the state. According to the Washington State Standard, on Saturday, Mayor Wilson told State Senate Majority Leader Jamie Peterson and longtime State Representative Jerry Pollitt she will be endorsing their opponents in order to shake up the status quo. Peterson authored one of the state's more progressive taxes, the income tax on millionaires. His opponent, Hannah Sabio-Howell, is calling for more taxes on the rich.
We are paying so much more at the end of the day, at the end of the year, to live here than the super wealthy individuals and corporations that have built their wealth here and have gotten richer and richer.
That was the candidate speaking on the G and Ursula show right here on KIRO News Radio. In response, just this morning, the Washington State Democratic campaign sent an email listing the many endorsements for Jamie Peterson, including Governor Bob Ferguson, Attorney General Nick Brown, King County exec Gurmai Zahalai, and Seattle City Council President Joy Hollingsworth. Mayor Wilson is also, though, endorsing Social Democrat Ron Davis in a district that covers North Seattle and the crime-riddled Aurora Avenue area that we've been talking about in the news most recently. A 15-year-old just shot there last Tuesday. Davis is calling for more taxes on corporations in order to make life more affordable for the non-wealthy, but he doesn't mention crime in his top 7 priorities on his website.
I'm running to freeze the rent in public housing, build over 1 million homes, double the buses on the road, and make sure childcare is affordable for every family, and protect our community from Donald Trump.
All right, so that's Davis from his website. Now, I want you to listen to Pollitt talk about the millionaire's tax. He seems to be saying the same kinds of things.
A mother of 2 earning $40,000 a year will pay less in taxes, and someone making over $1 million a year will pay more on that $1 million for the first time.
However, that's not progressive enough for Wilson and the social democratic wave that's happening right now. Pollitt told The Standard he was astonished by Mayor Wilson's endorsement because he has supported her policies ever since she was elected. Political constituents and consultants agree this is kind of a tricky move by Mayor Wilson. Mayor Wilson has a reportedly strained relationship with Seattle City Council, which led to a shakeup among her own staff, including her chief of staff. If Peterson and Pollitt win the primary and then go on to win the election, no doubt there will be a strained relationship then between her and 2 more powerful lawmakers in Olympia. The Democratic primary is set for August 4th.
And Luke, let's not forget, I had that in my commentary last week, the Democrats for King County have also endorsed Jamie Peterson's opponent. Here he is the Senate Majority Leader, the Democratic leader in the state Senate, and they endorse Sabio-Howell. So this is a Democratic movement writ large.
Oh, well, yeah, it's a big shakeup. I mean, it's being attempted right now. We'll see if it holds, but if it does, we're going to see what happens.
All right. Luke Ducey reporting live.
King County authorities announced a big drug bust over the weekend. Earlier this month, they arrested 3 people and seized 11 pounds of drugs, specifically cocaine and fentanyl. They also seized 2 vehicles and more than $51,000 in cash.
A magnitude 5.5 earthquake struck off the Oregon coast early this morning, about 85 miles southwest of the city of Eugene. Hit at 4:35, more than 6 miles deep. No tsunami threat.
It is time for a check on traffic, and we do that every 10 minutes for you. And here's Chris Sullivan.
And we have one crash on the board. It's not doing a lot of damage, except for those of you that are trying to get from Everett over to Mukilteo or to the Boeing plant. The ramp from southbound 5 to westbound 526 is blocked. Now, that's causing a little bit of slowing. If you're familiar with that area, 2 lanes exit off to the right-hand side now, and only the far right of those 2 exit lanes is blocked. So it's not really backing up onto the freeway. So overall, we've got about a 40-minute trip from Everett to Bellevue, about 35 I-5 from Everett to Seattle, which is good. But if you are trying to get to, say, the Mukilteo ferry dock or to the Boeing plant, you're going to have to get off at the Everett Mall Way, exit the left of those two exits. Just go up to the corner, take a right, go down the hill towards the cemetery, and take the left there, and you can get right back on westbound 526. So fortunately, there isn't a huge backup behind it, but again, a little bit of spot of bother. Looking at northbound I-5, we're back to about 45 minutes now from Federal Way to Seattle, but 30 of those minutes are from South Center. Those last couple miles are going to be heavy, but by most days' standards, manageable. Rented to Bellevue's about a half an hour. Valley Freeway back under 40 minutes, which is great. Pierce County, Thurston County, all freeway speed. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Looks like we'll have clouds today, high in the upper 60s, mid to upper 60s tomorrow. Chance of showers Wednesday. We start to warm up Thursday through the weekend. 4th of July, Saturday, looking like we'll have partly sunny skies and a high in the mid-70s. Right now in Seattle, it's 56.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO News Radio.
It's 8:36. Friday's draw between Iran and Egypt was as dramatic off the field as it was on. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery has more.
In many ways, it was a match that was much more about words and politics than the score. Seattle had designated it the Pride match long before the actual teams were selected to play, and both teams objected. But by match day, other political issues had overshadowed the beautiful game.
By wearing a shirt that says "No Iran War," it's in the colors of the Iranian flag, and the number 168 in the colors of the flag as well. And 168 stands for the elementary girls who were killed in the Minab strike in Iran.
Hundreds of fans, like State Representative Daria Farivar, sent messages through their jerseys. Others had slogans like "No executions in Iran." At the stadium, protests grew minute by minute leading up to kickoff. Homaira Bakhtiari organized a huge group that lined the entrance, calling for regime change and the installation of Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi.
They should be banned from the World Cup, but unfortunately they didn't ban this team who is coming from the Islamic regime.
There were some clashes with other Iran fans who didn't agree, and a near fight when someone leaped on a trash can waving the Islamic Republic flag. By kickoff, evidence of the Pride match was drowned out by other protests. And street preachers, pastors handing out pamphlets and Bibles, and Jehovah's Witnesses standing by. But some fans were just fans that day, like Joseph, Miriam, and their 18-month-old daughter.
Such an experience for her to cheer for her country. Yeah, miles and miles and miles and miles away.
But there's a lot happening here.
We don't care. We're here to have fun and enjoy and cheer for the game, so we don't pay attention to any tensions anywhere. So everyone can enjoy whatever.
And after the game, all the noise, all those messages faded into the background in favor of unity through music. And a good old-fashioned Seattle dog. Reporting in Seattle, Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Seattle dogs can cure a lot of harsh feelings.
I'd take one right now.
Dog. Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
Overrated.
Of course, Sully.
Yeah,
he thinks they're weird.
Yeah, not a fan.
The Beatles of hot dogs, too.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say they're that overrated.
It's 8:38.
We do have a warning from the Washington State Patrol as we get ready for the final two World Cup matches in Seattle. Troopers will conduct extra DUI patrols on match days. Troopers in King County arrested 11 drivers for suspected impairment Friday night when Egypt and Iran squared off in Seattle Stadium. Next match is on Wednesday. It's 8:39. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at this crash up in Snohomish County, right there in Everett. Good news is the exit to 526 has reopened. I'll break it down for you next.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM. Powered by MyNorthwest.com.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Chris Domine is a husband and a father. Chris is an athlete. Chris is even an Iron Man. But 10 years ago, Chris was facing a very different story because his kidneys were failing.
Basically, the doctor said, if you don't get a kidney transplant and if you don't do dialysis, you are going to die.
Fortunately, Chris received a second chance at life, made possible by an organ donor.
You know, your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
More than 100 million people in America are registered organ, eye, and tissue donors. People of every age and ethnicity, because they believe it's the right thing to do. Imagine what you could make possible by leaving behind the gift of life. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO News Radio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Hartley Wilcox here. I'm sure you've heard the saying, you are what you eat. And everyone knows eggs are an incredible source of natural protein and omega-3. But have you ever stopped to think about what the hens eat to make the eggs great tasting and even healthier to eat? At Wilcox Farms, we believe in nature-first nutrition. Our hens enjoy pasture access and a diet of organic grains and flaxseed. That means vibrant golden yolks, richer flavor, and higher omega-3s for you and your family. When you choose Wilcox, you're not just buying eggs, you're investing in real nutrition and real value. Because healthy hens make healthy eggs, and healthy eggs make healthy, happy families. So next time you're at the store, look for Wilcox Family Farms eggs. Taste the difference that starts with what our hens eat. Learn more at wilcoxfarms.com. Wilcox Farms, where better eggs begin with better care. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
It's 8:43. We check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
Now, good news for those of you trying to head southbound I-5 to westbound 526, the Boeing Freeway, to head over to the Boeing plant or down to the Mukilteo area. Maybe you're catching a ferry. The ramp has reopened. We still have the crash, but it's over on the right-hand shoulder. Just slow it down, but through the area. And the backup around this has dissipated, gone away really quickly. So it's left us with about a 35 to 40-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, which, again, is a fabulous travel time and hoping to be kind of a harbinger of what we're going to get the rest of the week as we get closer to Independence Day. Looking at northbound I-5, we have a great drive from Olympia all the way through Tacoma, up the hill to 18, through Federal Way, up through South Center. It's really not till you get to the north end of Boeing Field where you hit the brakes pretty significantly, but a 30-minute trip from South Center and 45 minutes from Federal Way is a win. Rented to Bellevue, about a half an hour. We picked up some late slowing right at I-90 through some of the weaving and merging there from both directions of I-90 trying to tie into 405, but overall not bad. The Valley Freeway is quiet. 35 minutes from end to end. That's just great. A little bit of slowing over the Tiger Mountain Summit on eastbound 18. Again, just a little yellow on the map. Nothing significant. 16 back and forth between Port Orchard and Tacoma look great. The lake bridges are quiet, so this is about as good as it gets. And again, as I said, I hope it stays this way the rest of the week. We deserve it. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, we're going to stay mostly cloudy, possibly some sun breaks for the afternoon, 69 our high, pretty much the same tomorrow. Wednesday, we do have a slight chance of seeing some drizzle, 66, and improving weather as we head for the holiday. Friday, 73 with partly sunny skies. We're looking for mostly sunny skies for your 4th and a high of 76. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 55.
G. Scott stops by from the G and Ursula Show. That's coming up next on Seattle's Morning News.
Remember the days when you didn't have to think about energy? You just had it? Well, now we're talking midday crash, the sleepless nights, the moments where you catch yourself thinking, what the heck happened to me? Well, here's the thing. Nothing's wrong with you. Your hormones just stopped holding up their end of the deal. At Juvacor Health and Wellness Center, hormone replacement therapy isn't a guessing game. It starts with a real sit-down conversation with a female provider who's heard your story before. In fact, she hears it every single day. Dr. Lucy Hostetter is a board-certified physician. She spent 7 years doing one thing exceptionally well, and that is helping women feel like themselves again. Your treatment is built around labs, your symptoms, and your life, and the follow-up is real because feeling better shouldn't be a one-appointment promise. Now they have 2 convenient locations, Tacoma and Bellevue. They expanded from their flagship home at Seattle Regenerative Medicine Center. Great care is now closer than ever. Stop Googling your symptoms at 2 in the morning. Start a conversation with someone who actually has the answers. JuvaCoreHealth.com. That's JUVE CoreHealth.com and feel like yourself again.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than a tear out. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Stop waiting. We're having a trade-in sale. You'll save $30 per door and drawer front off the cost of your new kitchen. Count them up and see how much you'll save. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Crooked teeth may embarrass kids whose families can't afford braces. And trying to fix their teeth themselves can make things worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. For children and teens who qualify and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, treatment can be life-changing and help them smile with confidence. Learn more at aaoinfo.org.
Seattle's Morning News. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, there he is from the G and Ursula Show, 9 to noon every weekday on KIRO News Radio. G. Scott is here.
Yo.
Good morning, G.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
What's happening? You guys have a good weekend?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice and restful.
Nice and relaxing. What about you?
It was nice.
Did you get
it
a break?
was good. A little bit. Big match on Friday. That match, that was a great match, by the way, even though it ended in 1-1, but it was a really good one. Went to the Storm game on Saturday.
Okay.
Saw them win. I'm going to call it right now.
Yeah.
In 2 years, the Seattle Storm will win the championship.
I hope you're right.
That team is young, and boy, do they have some potential. I mean, they're going to be stars.
All the
Anyway,
ingredients, huh?
They have it all. Anyway, so that was great, and then Sunday relaxed. But today, I wanted to talk to my good buddy David Burbank. Sent me a few topics to talk about, and I thought that this topic was great. There is a little coffee shop over in the Capitol Hill area. They came in basically one morning and someone threw a rock through their window and glass everywhere, $2,000 to fix this, right? A few weeks later, the city of Seattle cuts them a check and makes them all good today thanks to a program called Back to Business. They actually did this program down in Pierce County as well, around during the pandemic that was happening. And what this is about is the city has put over $1 million back into the pockets of small businesses that have been hit with, some vandalism, rocks thrown to it and everything down in the CID, the Chinatown International District over there. over there, 38 businesses and $175,000 to do that. So first, before I keep going, is this a good thing, you guys think, for them to help businesses out?
Sure, with what a small business owner must go through. I'm not thinking like, the big corporate chain, but if it's a mom and pop and they have their windows smashed, they might have limited financial means.
Yeah.
Right.
You know lots of people. I'm sure you know business owners. Are you hearing from any of your friends about it?
It's funny you say that. Yes, absolutely. Well, down in Pierce County, I had a buddy who's he owns a T-shirt printing business, and their place got hit 3 separate times.
Ugh.
It got hit. So, it's interesting. First, as you all know, I love this, but it's on par and it's consistent with this next part. I love this and. Not I love this but, I love this and. Because where the same business owner will come in, $2,000 cost, they need to be able to make rent, and so they need some help from the city. Now, I would love to do this for people too. Because sometimes, imagine that one person that goes out to work and they only have a $5,000, $6,000 car and the car's stolen. Right? And so now they need to be able to get to work. Or imagine that one person, the homeowner that has a furnace go out on that. The same way we will do this for business owners, no ask, no problem, here you go. I would like to see that happen for people too, that type of thing. But I know people look at business owners differently than they do people. Does that make sense? Kind of reminds me of back in the day, the way they look at landowners and as opposed to people. So I love this program. No questions asked. You're a business. Here you go. You don't have to do a crazy background check or anything like that. I want to see that happen to people too, because sometimes that some people are just a flat tire away from things going bad for them in their life. So being able to help someone out, a business or a person, I think is phenomenal.
What would the requirements be for someone to be eligible for that?
The same requirements for the business. Just exist, be a person.
Okay. I don't know what the requirements are for a business, as if what kind of things they have to prove. Is there paperwork? What goes behind it? I honestly don't know. I'm asking as a question.
It's the same. It's the same thing. You don't have to. I mean, you're a person and you have a home and your furnace is out. And I'm just saying, example. Are you talking about for the business?
The business. So, how does a business qualify for it?
It's easy. It's funny you said. Great question. For them, it's very easy. Business license. It all lines up. Your employment tax ID number. All of that lines up. This is your business. Boom. Here's some money. There you go. Yeah, it's really easy. Okay. It's not like you're not a fly-by-night service or anything like that. You have a brick and mortar. It's downtown. You have a business. This is my address on my business. Boom, you get that deal.
That's a lot of money. Where's that going to come from?
I don't know. I don't know.
Isn't the argument with the business that they're providing a service to the rest of the city? That's why you give them the money then to, recoup their costs a little bit, and then in that way they then keep providing a service to the city, right? So what's the same argument then, I guess, with an individual person?
Well, you either help them then or you wait to help them later when tax dollars are going towards helping with the unhoused, right? So, I mean, it all depends on when you want to help them, So.
All right.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, you have 2 more World Cup matches.
2 more.
You ready?
Yes, Wednesday is going to be the knockout round. I didn't see who's coming. I know Senegal is one of them.
Belgium and Senegal.
Yeah, Belgium and Senegal. Oh, man, wow. And then I'm also ready for Wednesday because Bosnia and Herzegovina going against the U.S. Mm-hmm. So whoever wins that, hopefully the U.S. wins so they can come up here on July 6th. Oh, it would be fantastic. So. Yeah, love it.
All right.
Appreciate you guys.
G. Scott coming up 9 to noon here on KIRO News Radio. We need to check traffic. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And it's about as good as it can get out there. Just a couple of spots of a little bit of braking to deal with. Northbound I-5, one of those spots. They're right past the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. But we're back under a half an hour from South Center to downtown and under 45 minutes all the way from Federal Way. And in fact, if you're coming up from Olympia, you're really not going to hit the brakes at all on northbound I-5 all the way up until you get to about the Michigan curve. That's just a great great day. The Valley Freeway, 35 minutes on that drive. Really nothing to speak of from Puyallup all the way up until you get inside of 180th, and really just kind of in the ramp meters where we're seeing a little bit of braking. And Renton to Bellevue's back under a half an hour, even with the brake lights we have there by I-90. Speaking of 90, we have a little slowing getting over to Mercer Island in the eastbound direction, but overall both lake bridges are in fine shape. Coming down from the north end, again, a quiet day. If you're coming down from Burlington through Arlington, Marysville, Everett, Linwood, you're really not going to hit the brakes much in any significant way. We're under 40 minutes from Everett to Bellevue. We do have a little bit of braking approaching 520. For I-5, it's only 35 minutes, so we're about as good as we can be right now. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our forecast, a pleasant day. We're going to stay mostly cloudy with a few sunbreaks, a possibility for the afternoon, a high of 69 in Seattle. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same. Wednesday, slight chance of some sprinkles, but fast forward to Friday, partly sunny and 73 for the holiday on Saturday, 4th of July, mostly sunny and 76. Right now it's cloudy and 55 in Seattle.
Coming up is the G and Ursula show. A lot of parents have to make choices when it comes to their career versus their kids. Most don't have People magazine write about it. We'll tell you about G. Scott's spot in the national spotlight.
That's coming up next here on KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
What if the retirement plan you think you have isn't enough? Marshall and Ellen thought they were prepared.
We certainly thought we had all documents. We'd done the wills and the power of attorney and all that stuff.
Then they attended a seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayich at Life Point Law.
The bigger parts of how that all plays out was definitely helpful.
Life Point Law showed them what they were missing.
There were things we never thought of that made total sense once they were brought up. To have things planned so that your family isn't left with a mess or having to deal with things that they don't know anything about.
So what's their advice?
People wait too long. Get started, figure out what you want to do. Don't wait too long. Make those decisions and look at all your options.
Register for a free Life Point Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way on July 7th, Bremerton July 9th, Everett July 11th, or Bellevue July 18th. Space is limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. lifepointlaw.com.
It is summertime, which means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, fun with the family. And Brad, I'll bet it's easier to pay for with free checking from WaFd Bank.
That's right, Dave. Set your financial goals and stick to them with free checking. No minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Hey, you'll also get spending tools to help you stay on top of your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank rated the best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states.
And tell me more about this card control feature I've heard so much about.
Dave, you can view transactions for individual cards, set controls and alerts, and if you forget your card at the restaurant, you can instantly turn it off while you go back to get it. You'll also have access to free tools like Zelle, mobile check deposit, and when those unfortunate times happen, submit fraud disputes right inside the WaFd mobile app.
And don't forget, you can choose from some great-looking debit cards, including Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves cards. So visit WaFdBank.com and open your account today. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
Have something to say? We'd love to hear it. Text KIRO News Radio at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel. A $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111.